Hey, today we have Bruce in our party.
Wait, what?
A Roll20 icon. We have Scotty's character from my one shot.
Yeah.
The Green Cauldron that Tide Goes Out wrote. We have his character from that as the image.
Jeez, Frizz, knock off the juice.
Okay,
He
so
shows up 100 pounds heavier.
so does anyone remember where we were?
We were going
Back to our
We must
outside
die.
the Azorius office and then
We
Scary
get
Weasel.
copper wire.
We got supplies. I thought we were back to the office, but we might not
I
have
mentioned
been.
getting copper wire.
No.
Okay.
We had
If
I
we're
think we
just...
were
still-
stopped on the way.
Oh, we were going to go to Nick's Guild Hall.
Yes.
Can I retcon getting just a couple glass jars, or if we're still there, since we haven't gone to Nick's yet, buy a couple glass jars at the place where we bought the flour?
Yes.
How much are those?
It'll be 2 copper each.
Okay, I need those. Thank you.
And see, here's the thing. I have on my notes that y'all were going to go see Hashi.
We
did that, and she wasn't in, and we made appointment for the next day, tentatively around noontime or whenever they're free.
So
Yes.
I need to check that off. And y'all were very adamant about not giving them a location or a time.
No, we gave him a card.
Y'all
and-
gave them a card and it said as soon as possible and at our location.
We gave them the office address as a location because they asked us for a location. And we asked them if they would be in any time today, and they were cagey. They wouldn't give us any time range. So we said, how about tomorrow around lunchtime? So we weren't cagey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe my statement was y'all were adamant about not giving them a time and place. But yeah, sure. Okay, that works.
We gave them both. And
Yeah.
with
Basically, sorry.
Yeah.
In the most generic way possible.
Well,
Here,
we
we'll
gave
be
him a
in
business
this
card,
general
which I'm
location.
assuming-
We gave
We
them
gave
an
them-
exact location, someone to talk to if we weren't there, and a time frame for them to try to meet if they would be available. I don't see how that's vague.
Fair enough.
Like, does the business card not have our address? Like,
Y'all never y'all never told me what's on it, so I assumed it has like the name of your facility, your location, and a general listing of what y'all do.
yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
When I said
Yeah.
gave them a card, the intent was to give them an exact address for the office.
All
I
right,
mean,
so
that is normally on a business card.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should have specified.
Maybe
what
that
on
was
there.
maybe that was an assumption on our part, but that was the intent.
okay.
Then I think we said like noon and as soon as possible. So if they're available sooner, just show up. But yeah, that's how I recall the conversation.
Okay, and then y'all were heading to Nick's.
Yes.
Yeah, and we told them if we weren't there for any reason to ask Athal and she could give us sending.
And why were y'all going to Nick's again?
Supplies, I believe.
Just generic
Copper
supplies?
wires and
Okay.
Yeah, just isity things.
we were gonna ask if they had any other things for trapping angels, basically.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And right by Nick's is that money changer, so I do need to get a gold trade bar. So on the way there or back, we should get that.
Alright, so y'all enter the subtram from your current location. About maybe 5 minutes later, the carriage arrives, and it'll be a short, maybe 10-minute trip to wherever y'all getting dropped at. Exiting the tram station, you see looming above you the Nyx Guild Hall. tall tower with lightning crackling all around it. Most of the area around here has suffered at least partial damage due to elemental effects, testing, explosions.
And before, when we went to the coin changer, we went to the one nearest Nick. So how far are we from the coin changer?
It would be maybe like a 20-minute walk.
Okay, that's
You would
a distance.
okay
But
if you go to Nick's. It is farther from the coin changer to Nick's than it is from the tram station to Nick to the coin changer.
okay, so we might just want to get back on a tram in between, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, it's 20-minute walk. Because basically, it's 10-minute walk to Nick's in one direction from the tram station. It is a 5-minute walk to the coin changer from the tram station in the other direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we want to get the coin changer out of the way since it's just 5 minutes there and 5 minutes back, and then go to Nick's, or?
Sure.
Sure.
I'm going to look forward to running Icewind Dale, where it takes y'all 4 to 6 hours to get anywhere.
I'm just confused because I didn't remember the time interval being that much before, but I might not have noted it. We weren't really on a time crunch, I don't think, when Frizz and I were just hanging out that day.
Alright, so y'all return to the coin changer that y'all been to previously. The same woman is there. It's hasn't been too long. You're back. Have you reconsidered opening an account?
I need to get a gold trade.
Solid gold?
That would be what a gold trade bar is, isn't it? I mean, hopefully you don't have non-gold trade bars.
She just kind of pulls out her little booklet and starts going over the pricing and stuff. Alright, so, let's see. Are you trading for the trade bar, or are you purchasing one directly?
I'm purchasing one. I need it for about 300 gold. I wouldn't want to go melting down any coins for 4 gold.
She kind of arches a brow. It's like, please understand we don't keep high monetary values on site. I could direct you to either a basilica to make the exchange, or I could have one delivered to you.
I think delivered would work. Can we set it up where the courier picks up the payment at the same time?
Half is due up front.
Mm-hmm. So what is our rate for 300 gold trade bar?
It will be 160 now and 160 on delivery.
A little pricey, but I suppose delivery is included. Sure.
And she takes the coins from you. She puts them into a sealed box, hides the box under the desk, fills out a little piece of paper, and hands it to you. Please write down the address that you would like to have it delivered to.
And I just give her one of the cards.
She kind of looks at it, sighs, and starts copying the information from the card down onto the slip.
Oh, I can write it on the slip. I thought she was just giving me like a regular piece of paper for it. Okay.
No, this is a full.
Alright, so once she has the information recorded, she tears off like the lower portion of it and hands it to you. So your claim ticket, you'll need this to receive the bar.
And when should we expect it there by?
I would say sometime tomorrow between midday and supper.
Is there a way to get it late this evening?
I mean, it would require an expedition fee.
Is 5 gold enough expedition fee?
Yes. 5 gold is exactly our expedition fee.
Okay, then I would like it this evening. I've got a bit of craft to do on it, and, I don't want to delay getting my thing done.
Certainly, it'll be dropped off right before the dinner hour.
Okay, we can go now. I got my stuff done. And Ingrid just tentatively, pipes up to the group.
As y'all leave, the door is locked. Behind you.
Well then.
That gold tray bar better show up.
So next.
Also, I just noticed one of the new features from Tasha is erroring out on on D&D Beyond.
What is now what?
I'm sorry, I was looking over Rail's sheet. Harness Divine Power is you can use this feature, scale value, no level scale data available, times.
Nan.
Yeah, I saw that. There's an error on. I already submitted a bug about it.
Okay. Oh,
Look, UI design is hard, okay?
D&D Beyond is written in, I don't know, probably Malbolge.
And when we get outside, Ingrid's like, Real.
Or Malbolge.
Hey, Real, guess what? Hey, Real, guess what?
What's up, Ingrid?
I'm going to summon a ghost.
I don't... Okay.
Or
Isn't that his thing?
I mean, did you have a specific one in mind?
A bird one. And he can't keep all the ghosts. I mean, Golgari deal with dead.
Ghosts are not my thing. Why would you think that ghosts are my thing? Knowledge is my
points
thing.
around at all the floating ghosts around.
Y'all are
That's-
not in the Orzhov district.
Oh.
It's an Orzhov thing. It's a fine distinction. Orzhov are all about debts, and debts can extend past life.
In the
Yes.
distance, you hear a
Golgari are
small,
about-
soft explosion.
Well then.
We should go to cover.
I think going towards the guild hall is the exact opposite of going towards cover, but I think that's where
Yeah.
we're still going.
If we're going to fight an angel,
I am going to...
going into a building that is basically a big fly zapper would be very good.
Ingrid's like, come on, Frizz, let's go. And links elbows with Frizz and starts heading towards the building.
I am going to send Hermes up to kind of fly around overhead and keep 3 eyes on the situation.
Cool, make a
idea.
percentile roll for me.
Oh god, why percentile roll? My dice are all the way over there.
You're sitting in front of a computer.
Yeah,
I
just
am.
do it in
I'll roll
20.
on D&D Beyond. Oh, I can do it in roll 20. Okay. Roll 1d100.
Or either way.
90. Was I trying to roll high or roll low?
Okay, good to know. As you'll start towards the Nyx Guild Hall, your attention is drawn up above to passing airships.
Oh god, tell me Hermes doesn't get sucked into an intake.
You feel a very distinct and exposed sensation. You are between the Nyx Guild Hall and Sunhome right now.
But she shouldn't be on duty yet.
Mm-hmm.
It exists before duty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a theological discussion right there for angels.
Well,
On
we
plus
should
side of
get
things-
to next guild hall.
Shoot, I cast Death Wards.
Yeah, you cast it like
on
4
three
times.
people. 3 times. Because I used up all my third
Yeah,
all
like
my
at
third
around
level
2
slots on it.
p.m. So I
It
think
lasts
we have
8
a little
hours.
while.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember who I casted on. One of them was definitely on Mavana.
I had one.
Yeah, I think it was
I think I
Rail.
had one also.
Oh, right. No. I casted on the frontliners. So Faradir, Ingrid, and Mavana, I think.
Oh,
Sorry. 'cause
yeah, that checks out.
I have more spell slots, but I don't have that many more.
No, I get it.
Whereas
Oh,
I figured the two of us are going to try to avoid damage.
Yes.
That's fine.
Next guild hall.
Alright, well, a few minutes of walking brings you to Nick's Guild Hall. As per the usual, there are a pair of guards out in front. This time a Videlkin who seems to be writing in a notebook, and a goblin who is just throwing dice against the wall. He's not rolling them, he's literally hucking dice at the wall.
bird pickup.
Why?
Really? Oh. Right. Get inside at least.
The Videlkin looks up from his writing, blinks, and shrugs, gesturing at the door towards y'all.
I'm gonna get my birds on the way.
Okay. Well, let's head in.
Okay.
Alright, inside the hallway, it's much as the last time you saw it before. Long, dark corridors, bright bits of shiny metal, the occasional jumping bolt of electricity dancing between metallic outcroppings.
All right, I was gonna say, don't touch
Yeah.
any exposed metal surfaces. Is
I mean,
Rail's byword here.
I think that's just good advice in general, but okay.
I don't know.
So let's head to the same person we headed to last time where I sold the crystals. I forget their
The
name.
quartermaster?
I
Okay.
may
The quartermaster, yes, that's the one.
I
can
may
pick up-
specialize in forbidden knowledge and things of which man was not meant to know. But don't fuck around with the is it. Just don't.
I'll pick
Hey,
up
crazy.
the birds and meet you at the quartermaster since I know where they're at.
Pardon
Well,
my
I'll see you then.
Alright, Ingrid, you get given a sack of 20 birds. Enjoy that.
And then I hurry back.
Alright, you'll be joining them after a few minutes. You guys find the quartermaster fairly well. It is a kind of willowy looking elven woman, short, kind of blondish white hair, a light gold ring around her eyes. She goes, yes. What?
I need to purchase a lot of copper wire.
A lot? Like, do we need to
Like,
do...
let's see, 60 foot around, so I keep wrapping up, so 80, 180 plus another 200, so 380. Let's just say 600 feet.
of copper wire?
Yeah, of copper wire.
She kind of like stands up. Do you have a requisition for a project?
No, it's more for recreational use.
Okay, 1 second. She gets up and she walks her way into the back and starts what you assume is measuring out wire.
I'm just gonna pat my stack of flour that I'm holding. Just that weight.
Metagaming Pigeon says you should have asked the price first.
Yeah, but also
Just making a Critical Role reference.
fair enough. Copper wire isn't that expensive.
After about 20 minutes, Ingrid, you're waiting for about 5 minutes. A large bale of copper rolls out. With her pushing it. Alright, so I have 1,000 feet of copper. It'll run you.
Okay.
She goes over to her book and starts checking some things. Hold on. 32 gold.
Yeah, that's not too bad. 32 gold.
She takes it. Well, you have fun with that.
Yeah.
And she goes to write down some paper. So you now have 640 pounds of copper.
Can we have some? Can we those cyclops that are used for carrying stuff?
Ingrid sighs and she gets out her Leomund's chest and says, "See what you can fit in here." It's 12 square feet, but it's not weight limit.
Well then.
Oh,
Yeah, she takes
how much could I
out
fit?
of her bag. She takes out a chest out of her bag that gets big and is on the floor.
If you are uncoiling
Also,
it,
how thick is the copper wire?
it is.
That's wondering, how thick is it?
It is 0.2 gauge.
That's wrapped around like a spool.
Yes.
What's the diameter of the
That
spool
should be-
currently?
Oh, it's like 3 feet.
Yeah, that should definitely fit in there. Like if it's
Yeah, it's not huge. It's just
Yeah,
really
it's just
fucking
heavy.
heavy.
And
Yeah.
so the chest is 3 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. So if it can fit, then we could just put it in.
You should be able to fit. You just have to lift it into it.
all right, boys, all together now.
Yeah, no.
All right, everyone
Wait,
lifting, make a
I can
strength
use
check.
something. No, I can use something. I have a thing that's perfect for the scenario. The Is It background comes with like the block and tackle set.
It does.
It does.
You have the power
Well, why don't you
of
just see if
physics
they
on your side.
have anyone that loads stuff to go?
It's so much easier. I want to use my block and tackle.
Ingrid turns the chest on its side so that the roll can be rolled into it.
Wait, how did she lift it out here?
She
My chest
rolled
isn't-
it.
She rolled it? Okay, so it's still outside. Let's just roll it in there then.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ingrid turns the chest on the side so you could just roll it in. And she just steadies the chest. She's not rolling it herself.
yeah. She didn't. The quartermaster didn't roll it. She basically slid it off of the thing to the ground and then kick rolled it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just roll it in there then.
All right, with a little bit of effort, you roll the copper wire roll into the magic chest. Fuck that sentence.
Ingrid slams the lid shut and poofs the chest back.
All right. You now
Ooh.
have an extra dimensionally stored length of 1,000 feet of copper wire. Please make the appropriate notes on your sheet.
Yeah. Question out of character, because I think Frizz would know this, about the whole thing that he's building. Does he have the proper paperwork for it, or does he need to get that? 'Cause I feel like as an is it he would know to get that before he started building it.
Are we talking about the
But, like,
the
wouldn't-
feature thing you're building, or
The big old thing, the spider.
yeah? No, that is super illegal. Cathal has taken care of it.
Oh, cool. Then yeah, I just didn't know if that was done.
As her
Cool,
major
cool, cool.
domo, it is her job to make sure that y'all can have all of the functioning accoutrement of your station.
Okay. Now, how is it that illegal? Seems that bad considering all the other stuff that's around.
There's a list of things that are legal, and there's a list of things that are illegal, and then there's a list of, well, we don't normally let people have this, but you know this person, and so you get this.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
It is
They
very
probably-
not fair.
Anyhow, it's no. But yeah. Well. Alright, now what else do we need from here? We doing a
Ingrid gestures
Anything
at
else
her
coming-
slightly smelly bag. I've got all the stuff I need, but you were going to ask him about any fun trapping technology, I think.
Yeah. Any new technology about, stasis, that sort of stuff, trapping, ensnaring, any mishmash machine that does not do the proper thing that could be used for those sort of means.
And Quartermaster kind of... I mean... She goes and comes back into the back of Stacks and comes back with a bag of 42 Mysium nuts cross-cut at 32 centimeters. Supplies.
Well, yes, I get that, but I was just asking for gossip. I wasn't asking for
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Hey.
I thought you were asking me to get you something. It's like,
No, I would assume I would have to go find out who made it and then go talk to them
yeah, no, that would
because
be...
it's, yeah.
I mean, maybe the lab of translocation? I mean, they deal with moving stuff.
True, and to move stuff, they would need to stop stuff also.
Yeah.
Oh, we can
Yeah.
also check in with Spanner while we're here and see if the metal's ready. It's a day early, though.
It's a day early. Let's check on them. Let's definitely do that. We're here. Might as well. Let's go check with Spanner, and then let's go to the lab of transmutation. That's the transmutation one.
Do you know where the
Anyway.
the lab of translocation is?
1 second, let me get my... And she goes back and gets a little book. And she's flipping through her little notebook. Let's see here now. Pyrology, storms electricity, metallurgy is located. Alright, laboratory of orientation. It's currently...
Not translocation, orientation?
Orientation is a... Translocation is a subschool of orientation. Is currently located at the side of a building, apparently.
The pyramid one?
Yeah.
Okay, then it hasn't moved. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not here in the hall, so we'll have to look at that in a bit.
You may have some luck with the laboratory of gravitational inversion. They have offices set up at the Prism University right now.
Okay, well, let's definitely check in there. I mean, it's been a while since I've been to the university.
They also have their main workshop near Augustin Station.
Okay. Well, then let's go see Spanner, and then let's head to Prism University, or
Let's see here.
just want to head home.
You could try the Laboratory of Continuism, I guess, though that's not really freezing so much as sidestepping.
Yeah.
But they only appear between midnight and 1 a.m. Between the... Yeah, close and whatever, fuck, I'll use Earth terms. Between midnight and 1 a.m. within the tower. The rest of the time they're dephased, it seems.
Very weird.
Yeah, well, time fucks with all weird things.
No, it does. We might need to head there sometime in the future, anyhow.
I get it. She closes the book. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
Leave.
We are.
Ingrid leads the way, skipping ahead towards the metallurgy lab.
Alright, down the hall, the temperature greatly increases, as does the amount of electricity crackling through the air. To the back of the location, you find a number of little ferry houses in industrial quarter blocks.
Very gently knock at Spanner's little door.
There's a beat, another beat, no response.
I guess I will ask someone if he's on duty right now.
Alright, looking around, you do find a number of, is it workers? One of them, Pyro. Yeah, he's doing a thing in a tube with some wiring right now.
Oh, well, we weren't supposed to be here till tomorrow anyway, so I'll just catch him tomorrow then. I don't want to interrupt his experiment.
Tomorrow? Oh, here, hold on. He goes off and is like, pulls out what looks like 4-inch by 5-inch slices of a reddish green metal. It's like, we had some slight discoloration with the anodization process as we were reducing it down and thinning it. But yeah, no, he's taking care, traded a favor. He's taking care of something for that right now. We just finished with the pressing.
Okay, so is tomorrow too soon now?
I mean, you can have it now if you want.
Oh, I'll wait for the color change so that it matches the armor then.
Okay, the color should be back to normal in 48 hours.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what the correction was for.
Oh, no. It's just the anodization process applies a charge to it, and until the charge dissipates, then it's kind of funny colored. It's what happens when you reduce something down and then pass it through a Misium filter.
Oh, okay. When you see him, would you ask him if he's interested in helping decompress a Misium ball too?
Hold on one second. He goes and gets a piece of paper. It's a full-size sheet of paper. He writes down what you asked him. He folds it and he carefully starts pushing it under Spanner's door.
Oh, okay, that works. Thanks.
Gives you a thumbs up.
So, and as they're walking out, Ingrid would be like, "So, Frizz, are we actually going to that other lab? Because, that's that one lab."
Yeah.
Also, we might want to leave here in a different way and get back. I don't know.
Yeah. We probably should just head back.
We may have been being watched on the way in. Any good ways to get out? Maybe we can get a carriage out or something?
We could, but who's to say she wouldn't be watching us like that anyway? You know?
Okay, so we just boldly walk out, but maybe a different door?
Sure.
So, what door are you going to try and leave?
A door very clearly labeled exit.
This way to the egress.
Well, I mean, there's the main entryway that y'all have been using previously. There's loading docks, delivery tunnels.
Do we know? So basically, Roma's right under Nyx.
Not directly under, but
Yeah. But would I be familiar with any of the delivery tunnels for like that Undercity Golgari trait for getting places?
for security purposes, there is no direct connection from the There is no direct connection from the inside of a guild hall to the general populace area that is not guarded.
Makes sense.
Okay, well, do we want to just stroll out the main exit then?
I don't think that there wasn't any way to underground. It was just that it'd be guarded, right?
Yeah.
I
So-
don't think getting in trouble with the it's necessarily a good thing, though.
But we.
Why? There would be no reason to get in trouble. We'd just be heading underground, and you are, quote, the daughter of Rot, right? Like, I mean,
You're
It's
the
very
one
clear
with the
that-
is it badge. You would need to be badging
yes,
us out.
I would be badging us out too. But yeah, like, there would be no problem with it. It's not a security threat in any way. It's nothing like problem. We bought copper wire. We have proof that we did. We went and saw Spanner. Like,
Can I
very
do an
clearly
insight
we-
check to see like how viable this is? Like,
Sure.
I got a 4.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a tunnel. It probably connects. You may have to go through a couple other tunnels, or check in with some guards, or kill a random creature that set up a home in the tunnel. But
I mean, that's just civic duty, isn't it?
yeah,
Simic?
Civic.
civic.
That makes more sense.
I mean, yeah.
No, if it was civic duty, it would capture it and try to see what it would be like with either some or additional tentacles.
Are you supposed to be capturing stuff? That was your job, right, Fair Dear?
I mean,
I miss when it was my job to add tentacles to things.
So you want to lead the way, Frizz?
Sure.
Alright, so y'all go down 2 stories to one of the subterranean levels. There is a lot less refinement to the architecture here. You see a lot more fairies and pixies flitting around, going into crevices and cracks, and honeycomb-like structures. There are also a number of goblins carrying very large drill-shaped objects. One of them stops as you enter. Can I help you out? Alright, come on. If you're here to work, and he starts leading y'all down a tunnel.
I couldn't hear first, so I might have to
Um.
reload. Oh, I can now. I guess it was just a blip.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. Weird. Anyhow, oh, we're just heading out underground.
Yeah, me too. Come on. And he, leads y'all down a winding tunnel. He's carrying what looks like it has a drill tip at one end, a long metal collar, and then a shovel handle. He's like, alright, so we've been testing these, and I guess y'all knew it here. And he hands the device to Frizz. He's like, so you're the trained technician, right? Alright, so here's what you do.
There's been a misunderstanding. 1 second. We probably took a wrong left. This, I think, big thing. The trained technician that's coming in, right? I believe he was just behind us. Sorry about that. Big misunderstanding. It
It's
happens.
fine. Don't worry. Come on. He's like, all right. So, and then he leads y'all about maybe 20 more feet down. So here's the intervening wall.
Okay.
At the other side here is one of the tunnels. You just use the two-phase drill to create the opening, and then we'll have the move the stuff through. Anyway, good working with you. He gives you a thumbs up and walks off.
Well, I guess you're on duty, Frizz.
I'm on duty. Let's get this wall down. So I'm gonna look at the thing that I have, the drill.
It's maybe
make sure I understand how
a
to work it
foot and
properly
a
before I
half
do it.
long. It has a button at the top and 2 buttons on the inside handle.
One on the top, 2 on the inside handle. And can I roll?
Make an
see.
Arcana check.
Arcana, that's fair.
Since I'm
Does,
standing by him, can I
25
assist? Oh, he's got 25. He doesn't need it.
All right. So clearly, the top button is the trigger that makes it, that starts it, and the 2 buttons on the inside look to be a simultaneous press to trigger the second phase. He did call it a 2-phase drill.
Yeah. Then I'll work around and start going to town on this wall.
All right. So you hold down the top button, and the drill bores into the wall pretty easily. After about maybe 5 or 6 inches, however, it seems to just stop.
I'll hit the
While
other
he's
2
been doing this work, Ingrid's actually backed up and cast Leoman's tiny hut. For anyone that wants to get undercover. So she's about halfway through hut casting when he gets to this point.
All right.
So actually, I've been
have a mini bar.
Nope, no mini bar.
Aw. No.
I'm gonna press the other 2 buttons then to trigger the second phase.
Cool. The collar kind of sparks and the handle disconnects. So you're now holding a handle, the drill bit and the metal collar is stuck in the wall.
Well then. Is that
Walk
supposed to
back
work that
before
way?
you re-engage it. Don't be in the blast zone. I didn't hear you on there, so it might not have come through.
Yeah.
I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw.
Well, no help
wonderful.
from Hut then.
And rolling with actual dice.
22.
Ha!
17.
Natural 1. Grand total of 7.
13. But I did say I stepped back to do spell casting.
Okay.
Rail is like, huh? What?
So if you rolled a 15 or higher, you take 2 fire damage. If you rolled lower than 15, you take 7 fire damage. I rolled 3 ones.
Even if I went really far back to do the hut? Okay, 7 damage.
Glad that Hermes isn't in here.
Where is Hermes?
Outside, keeping an eye out. Like, I said I was sending Hermes up to fly
Yes.
around and keep an eye on things.
And you never checked in on Hermes.
He's within range to send me telepathic communications, I think.
You can send Elville telepathic communications.
Oh god, yes, he's got the spy's murmur. So yeah.
And you don't.
I
Oh,
do
no.
not, but I have a direct telepathic link with him.
But if he dies with the spy's murmur,
Then it just poofs to the ground. And
Well, not
And
poofs,
then-
just falls, so you might
Well,
annoy
he
someone.
poofs and it falls, yes.
No, it wouldn't annoy anyone. It would be caught there by the thing that killed it, probably.
Probably.
I mean, it would annoy Asham either way.
What doesn't annoy Asham?
If it could be traced back to Asham, it might get Asham in trouble.
Hmm.
Also, they're fairly expensive.
Super fucking
He might-
That
expensive.
also.
this is a really
100
terrible
feet,
idea.
or 100 feet.
They're rare items. Something
Yeah.
like, I think there's something like, what, 5,000 gold?
Jeez.
Yeah.
And you gave it to a bird.
Yeah.
So, after the
I mean-
explosion and the dust and the smoke clears, you see an open tunnel into what looks to be a portion of the Undercity.
Cool.
Hmm.
Here, head down.
Better give him his
Got a little
device
sentence
back
there.
first.
Okay.
You
now
know,
let's rejoin us.
I should,
It's just the handle now.
but it's just the handle. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it right there, and then we're gonna continue onwards.
You're leaving the handle or you're taking it?
I'm leaving the handle.
Okay, you just prop it up against the wall.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean, if he's still in zone, we could just magically message him.
No, he'll come back down here eventually. He probably heard that.
There was a resounding boom,
Yeah.
but those are not exactly uncommon.
No, but yeah, it's fine.
I gotta say, Tux, you're doing a good job of modifying your setup on the fly.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my best.
Like, you got the masking done really orderly. I can't even get, like, everyone in line when I do it.
Yeah, when you have to do 5 custom websites, and they decided to give these to you 2 days before they go live, you get kind of really good at CSS really quickly.
Anyway, after you help test the Izzet device, break through into the Undercity, and Ingrid manages to lead y'all, where are y'all going?
We're just heading to go back, which the closest exit I know to the office is the pump house. But if I find any closer ones while we're exploring, we can go that way.
Alright, make me a percentile roll.
Six.
Nice. Okay, so after a little bit of wandering around, Ingrid, oh, okay, I recognize this, and manages to lead y'all to the pump house. It takes y'all about 30 minutes to get there. As she leads you up through the floorboard into the main part of the pump house, the upper reaches of it is filled with a thick black smoke that has a kind of weird rainbowy sheen to it.
Hey, Maine, are you around?
Oh,
Hey, what's all the smoke?
cooking.
Oh, okay.
Want some?
Oh, I don't really eat anymore. Thanks, though.
Want some?
Just a tiny bit.
Maine comes out wearing like a chef's apron and a torn up pair of shorts. The massive troll has recently trimmed his mushrooms, it seems, because you see a lot more stems and a lot more shelf than puffballs that he had previously. He's also started working on a beard.
Maine, are you redecorating because you found someone?
He kind of holds out what looks like half of a goat that's just been set on fire.
Ingrid gets out her cutting knife and very gingerly cuts like a little slice of goat flank.
He gestures it to the rest of the group as well. Eat.
Sure.
Sure.
It still has the fur on it.
Yeah.
I've already got my blade out, so I'll just cut them a little bit off of the same area.
He just basically took half a goat, threw it on a fire, and y'all came in.
Yeah. Make sure to like precipitation on it, make it taste actually good.
It is raw.
No, it's fine. If I notice it's raw, then I'll just like.
Goat sushi.
That would.
Well, I mean,
It'd be
it's
tartar.
it's raw on the inside. It's charred on the outside.
Let's go finish
Yeah.
off cooking it at the office. Thank you, Maine.
Bye bye.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah.
Just offended on behalf of a character I play in an entirely different campaign.
Is it a goat?
Messed up good goat like that. No, in another campaign I play as chef.
Oh yeah, no. Feast Domain Cleric is about halfway done.
Ooh.
So back to the office semi-stealthily, but through the crowds of people.
Make a group stealth check.
How do we make a group stealth check?
You all roll and average your totals.
I got a 17.
Oh, I got a 5.
Next time we're gonna do this, let me know ahead of time so I can cast Pass Without Trace on us.
20.
Oof. Damn, I got a 15 somehow. Not a good
5,
roll.
15, 20.
And 17.
Alright, yeah, you feel comfortable having blended in with the crowd. You are still walking through open space, and you have the sensation of eyes above you still, though.
Okay, well, we'll head back to the office, and when we get there, Ingrid's going to start, assuming we get there, Ingrid's going to start animating birds.
Alright, yeah, y'all reach your office. Y'all reach the
Yeah,
office
so
pretty easily. Go on.
The version of the second Zoid coin I have on my sheet is still the out-of-date one. How does
Seriously?
it work as far as using abilities more than once in a day again?
Hold on, let me...
Yeah, this one still has the coin flip mechanic.
Anyone that doesn't lose anything from taking a short rest, other than hit dice, like it would be bad for me to use them up. Might want to take a short rest for some blast damage, like 1 hit dice.
Yeah.
Just copying and pasting the correct version.
Okay, I'm going to have to get more proactive about using my channel divinity, because this is like the umpteenth time we've been like, oh, take a short rest. I haven't used any of my short rest abilities. Yep. Instead of taking a short rest, I am going to cast Commune as a ritual. Because why not?
My plan with Ingrid is to keep a spell slot open, but while we're inside and resting, to keep Armor of Agathis active, and to do 1 set of birds every hour.
All right, Rail, go ahead and reload to see if if it took the update.
Okay.
Also, if you can move your mic a tiny bit closer.
Me?
No, Rail.
How's that?
Much better.
Counting mana. Okay, if it's used in
You get 1 free shot on it, and then it starts costing you HP.
Okay. But you have to spend a hit die to use it.
Yeah,
At all.
but you don't take damage.
Okay.
Yeah, but it still costs you a hit die
The
to
first
trigger
time.
it.
Okay, but I did use it once today, so I need to spend that hit die. How do I spend a hit? Because I didn't notice that when I used it the first time. How do I spend a hit die?
Go under short rest.
And check a box. If
Okay,
your box is left to be checked. If you don't, then you cannot do that.
fair. So you know what? Okay, if we're taking a short rest, then I'm going to both use the coin, and I'll roll the hit die and take that, and then I will spend a hit die to try to regain some HP.
Okay, what are you using the coin for?
True sight.
Okay. Your vision goes wide and deep. You can see into the ethereal plane, you can see through illusions, you can see invisible creatures. You see a number of what looks like suits of armor standing at the corners of the main room of the Second Sight Agency at attention.
Okay. And I lose 8, and then I gain back 7. And I'm down 3 hit dice.
Okay.
Okay.
You said you were casting Commune?
Yes. As a ritual, if we have the time. That'll take 11 minutes.
What time are we at, like, when we hit the agency?
It is getting on close to 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
I don't think we have anything particular we were going to do in the afternoon other than set up, like with Frizz, if he wants a little bit of help. I had just planned to take a short rest and animate birds and keep a spell slot open. So I didn't really have any big plans for the evening.
Yeah, during that short rest, I was actually going to start working on the thing.
I was going to warm up the goat and give it to Watcher once it's fully cooked.
Okay, well, let's go in the order of people who declared it. So first we had Rail with the Commune.
Yep.
So I don't actually know how this works for Rail, because Rail doesn't have deities. Yes, you may contact your deity or divine proxy and ask up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no. Must ask your questions before the spell ends. You receive a correct answer for each question. You might receive unclear as an answer, or a short phrase if yes or no doesn't work.
Also, you should check in with your bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. So first off, questions. You know what? Just hell with it. Some random questions that I've been wondering for a while. First off, does Devotion want to kill me?
Hermes flitters down into the space in front of you, its 3 eyes glittering softly as it stares at you.
Okay, but is that an answer, though? Or is that an unclear? Or is that a this can't be answered with a yes or no?
You can't hear okay.
He can't hear.
Now you can hear me. Okay, hold on, I'm checking
Yes, now I can
Devotion's
hear you.
sheet. Because Devotion has very complex plans for everyone.
Fair.
So the specific question is, does Devotion want to kill me? Yes?
Yes. That is the answer. That is the question, rather. What's the answer?
Hermes bearing his stance, he kind of leans forward, but he doesn't seem to give you a hostile impression. You would say no.
Okay. Let's say, can shoot. Which kind of angel was the law master again? Azorius angel or Boris angel? Azorius, right?
She is a Boros Firemane angel, as near as
Boris
you can
angel.
tell.
Okay. Right, because the Azorius don't have angels; they have sphinxes. Right. So can Firemane angels generally innately use silence? Like, is that a natural or supernatural ability of theirs? Because I don't think I was able to figure that out in character. Like, that wasn't something that Rael knew.
Hermes preens a feather from his wings and then caws at you very loudly. The impression you would get is no, not as a natural ability.
Okay. So either it's a special ability of the Lawmasters or it's a spell, which may change things up a bit. And third question.
Or an item.
Or an item. But yeah. But if it's an item, it's probably a spell. Like as opposed to something like where if it's natural ability, that might affect what we can do to affect it. Third question.
Quick history thing. She was caught with a wand of silence, and she was originally arrested.
Fair point. I did not remember that. So that's a likely thing. Third question. Is the cloning facility, is Cirrus's cloning facility currently active? Did you hear me ask that?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide because
Percentile?
not is it,
phrasing can be taken
functional. Is it currently functional?
Hermes would caw and kind of walk in a little circle before pancaking flat on the floor. You get the impression of affirmative.
Okay. So that's my 3 questions. Again, sorry for the random, but those are 3 things I've been
No,
wondering
that is
about
the
for a
entire
bit.
point of having divination spells.
Okay. Alright, so that's it for Rael with the downtime.
Alright, Frizz was going to work on his special project, I believe?
Yep.
Alright, that's going along fairly well.
Oh wait. No, not special project. My bad. wire thing up above the roof, the thing
Yeah,
that I drew
the
that diagram of
Yeah,
last
the
week.
special project with the Faraday cage thingy.
If it's
Okay,
outside,
yeah,
you
I have
might want to
like
take
3
someone with
special
you.
projects. No, I was going to ping Spy's Murmur every occasional time and just be like, if I don't respond in 5 minutes, I'm dead. And just keep doing that, because, you know,
You basically
if I take someone with me, I'm basically going to kill someone else with me, you know?
It takes an hour, but you do eventually construct a Faraday dome.
Cool. And then I'm going to sprinkle flour over the entire thing.
Okay, you now have a flour-coated Faraday dome.
Awesome.
Wait.
And then,
Wait, that's not electrified, is it?
not yet.
No, no flour and electricity.
No, it's not electrified yet. I have the plan for it. Still. It's fine. Anyhow,
Here you go.
When you
I'm
didn't
going
go
to
with
get one
them,
of
Fair Dear, you don't know.
yeah. Anyhow, yeah, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to set up. If I move the wires at all, how, like, I basically want to make sure that I did it taut enough that, like, wind's not going to push the wires inward.
No, it's pretty well anchored.
Cool. Then what I will be doing then is I will be taking those electric crystals I have, just two
The
of them,
seated
one on either
ones
side.
or the active ones?
The active ones.
Okay, just wanted to confirm.
So I will put them just far away enough, on a little tiny pedestal. This is a little something to keep it off the ground, and not able to roll around. That if the wiring is broken in any way, it'll be pushed in enough to touch that to electrocute.
Make a sleight of hand roll for me, please.
Cool. That will be a 17, but I'm going to add a D4 to that with my special chaos ability,
Okay.
which will be 4, so that will be 21.
Okay, 21. Alright. So yeah, you set it up so that it's just barely outside of contact with it. You see like a little tongue of electricity jump from the crystal to the wire every now and then, but not a continuous stream or a large amount.
Cool. Well, I think I've done what I need to do for this bit of time.
Ingrid, you're making creepy birds,
I'll let her-
right?
Yeah, I am like in between with resting, taking a few minutes to do like animate 5 birds, put Armor of Agathis back on, and then while I'm resting, I am just cleaning one of the old skulls that I originally brought from the birds that were when I lived in the pump house. So I'm cleaning up one of the skulls to cover with gold later.
Okay. Noted. Let's see here now. Fair Deer, are you doing anything?
Probably working the crossbow.
Working the crossbow as in...
The puzzle thing.
Okay, make a roll for it.
I think that's a dirty 20. 1 second. Yes.
The crossbow lights up, the power source thrumming with the soft beating of a mechanical heart, energy coursing through the wood and the circuitry.
Hooray.
Alright. About...
Does the trade bar come in?
I was about to say, about 7 o'clock there is a knock on the door.
I'll get the door, and Ingrid runs over.
A tall, not overly muscled, but well-toned woman with light lightly olive-colored skin. Stands there wearing Zorius blue and silver piping. She has a cane in her right hand. Her hair has gone gray and is tied back in several dreadlocks. She holds a small sack in one hand with made of black velvet with the Orzhov logo on the side. I am here to meet with a certain group.
Does so does she look like she's wearing justice robes?
She looks like she's wearing captain uniform.
Is that group the Second Sight Agency?
It is. A young gentleman was waiting to deliver this.
Oh, that might be the trade bar. And Ingrid will hold open the door and be like, "Come in, come in, come in." And then she'll check if it's her trade bar.
She hands off the sack as she enters. Flowing behind her is 6 little silver marbles with a slight blue gem at the front end. She looks around as she enters and says, "So, you wish to speak to me?"
And Ingrid will message Cathal real quick to be like, "By the way, Justice Hashi here, 6 little Azorius marbles. We have a meeting. Bye."
You get like a, "Wait, what?" We have the Lawmaster writ, and we know you're a main detective on that case. Oh, here, come have a seat. Let me get everyone gathered around. She frowns, but waits.
And Ingrid will just step out of sight and then use the spy's murmur to gather everyone, rather than like running everywhere. And then come back.
Winsome fates and unattained dreams.
Everyone, she's here.
I'm hoping
Hey,
she
down.
can't hear that. All right. Let's get her some tea. Or beverage of choice. I
And then
suppose.
Ingrid will head back to the.
Why don't we ask before?
Oh, was the trade bar in there?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's smaller
Before I
than you
head
would
down, I'll
think.
try to look.
Well, gold is
I will
heavy.
try
Does
to look.
it look like its value?
Yes. What's up, Frizz?
I said before I head down, I want to make sure I don't have any flour on me or anything like that.
Alright, make a flower check. I'm
All
kidding, you're
right.
fine.
What modifier is that? No, I know.
Flower check.
It's the prestidigitation modifier.
Perception, obviously.
Yeah.
Brings a whole new meaning to flower power.
She leans on a cane as you come back in. Her eyes wander over the area. Her mouth held just slightly above a frown, though very tight-lipped.
Well, it's come to our attention that you worked on the well, we suspect Dominion of the Fallen.
I see. You are aware that this writ has been put in the process of being cancelled, yes?
But not cancelled.
Put in process and cancelled are two very different things.
There have been some delays, yes, but resources are already being reallocated to more active investigations.
I mean, this one seems quite active. There was a murder just a few days ago.
She kind of tilts her head a little. Well, nonetheless, this decision has been made.
And a possible magical assault earlier today.
She closes her eyes and seems to be visually counting, or internally counting for a few seconds. As that may be, if you have or knowledge of an assault, it should be reported to the local authorities and handled by them. The Lawmaster case is officially closed. The writ will be nullified within days.
Why is it closed?
So what you're saying is that there is a
It has been
actually,
ordered
Faraday's
closed.
thing is more important.
By whom?
By whom?
Classified information, I'm afraid.
Classified on whose order?
She makes a very slight shrug.
Doesn't that seem rather unsatisfactory after, possibly in the past the murders could have totaled 600 and we're already up over a dozen now?
No one was ever charged with those previous deaths, and the assumption that they were linked was never proven.
Alright, so question for the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Does my Detect Thoughts Channel Divinity have any outward indication? Is it obvious, or is it just something that I can...
Does the description mention making a gesture or presenting your holy symbol or anything like that?
It does not.
Then no.
So yeah,
Wait,
I'm
does it
going
say
to
you
Channel
cast it?
Divinity...
Hold on.
No.
Does it say you cast it or you... Let me just look at it.
No, as an action, you can use Channel Divinity to choose one creature that you can see within 60 feet. That creature makes a Wisdom saving throw. On success, I can't use the feature on it again until I finish a long rest. On a failure, I can read its surface thoughts for 1 minute.
Okay. Then yeah, no, there would be no outward sign of it.
So I'm going to Channel Divinity read thoughts.
Okay, what's your DC?
Okay. 17.
Okay, let's see here. That is 3 plus 5 is 8. So yeah, no. All right, surface thoughts. Stop asking questions is the biggest thing that you're getting. I don't remember detect thoughts too deeply.
No, it's surface thoughts.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Why might somebody be trying to protect a probable serial killer? Is the immediate question that comes to mind. I mean, you seem the sort to care deeply about justice.
She does not respond for a long moment. Speculation is not helpful.
So, is it typical to close a murder case? Several murder cases?
She clears her throat. I was under the impression that this was something important. If this is a interview, or if this is a interrogation of some sort, then there are proper procedures to be gone through. And surface thoughts is she is really pissed off right now.
Alright. This might backfire on us, but I am going to use the other feature of Read Thoughts, which is casting Suggestion.
Well, really?
Well, what? She's not telling us anything.
One
So
second.
you're going-
Okay.
Let me look something up.
Suggestion is obvious, and she is like the equivalent of
No, it isn't.
sheriff. Isn't it? I thought after the end of suggestion. Maybe I'm thinking.
It's a regular
No.
spell cast. You can cast suggestion as an action. It doesn't. It's not undetectable like read thoughts.
Yeah, it has a verbal and a material component required.
It's during that time you can cast Suggestion as an action on the target without expending a spell slot. Oh,
But it's casting, which would mean the full.
yeah. I don't know. The way it's written to me implies that it's kind of like
Okay.
it wouldn't be obvious to the target, but I'm not the DM.
Okay.
If it says you can do this or X and Y, like it just says you can read the surface thoughts, then it has no explicit thing. Where it says you can cast, which means you have to go through the rules of the spell, means that you need to perform the semantic, the verbal, or the material. And in this case, the verbal would be the suggestion that you give, and the material component would be easily substituted by your guild signet.
Right. Yes, during that time, you can use your action to end this effect and cast a Suggestion spell on the creature without expending a spell slot. The target automatically fails its saving throw against the spell.
Okay, so having looked this up, I did not give you full all the information. Her current emotions is she is frustrated and angry. What she's actively thinking about is getting y'all to stop investigating and asking questions. Now,
We haven't told her that we're being targeted.
I just wanted mostly some maybe insight into. I don't like any of the solutions of what happened to her before, and there were no murders when she was on an active duty and happy. Honestly, I'm less concerned with bringing her in and more concerned with maybe something that would make the murders stop because she'd be satisfied.
she clears her throat as she looks at you. Dominion of the Fallen is a very unique individual. What happened to her was unfair, but a necessity. She has been well behaved outside of a few interpersonal conflicts, which are understandable among coworkers over a long period of time. She has not broken any laws that we are aware of, and she has fulfilled her duties in every way asked of her.
Hold on.
So, Rael, are you casting suggestion or not? Because as I'm reading this,
Yeah, it only
would
lasts for a minute.
It would last for a minute. Hold on, a minute? That doesn't sound right. As I am reading this, the material component, suggestion lasts for 8 hours if you maintain concentration on it. The material component could be your guild signet ring, in which case you are not waving around some odd object that would attract a lot of attention, and the verbal component would be literally the suggestion you give. So
Okay.
it could be noticeable, it may not be. It depends on how you go about this.
Okay. So yeah, before the effect runs out, I'm going to cast suggestion, and the suggestion is going to be, I mean, really, we don't want any bloodshed or injustice if we can avoid it, and I'm sure you don't, and I'm sure even she doesn't. But you might be able to bring this to the best conclusion for everyone involved if you just helped us find her and talk to her.
Okay, so that was in character. The suggestion is
Yes.
help us find her and talk to her.
Yes.
Yes. Bring a resolution to this whole thing without bloodshed from anybody's part.
Her
Rail just goes
eyes
Code Geass again.
narrow for a second. She grits her teeth. Well then, come along. And she turns and starts walking out the building.
Oh.
I guess we
That's a
follow.
lot more. That's more
Ooh.
immediate than I expected.
Yep, guess we're following.
And
Since we, so how long has it been since I went in and I cast the 2 spells?
It's been about an hour.
Okay.
This is
It's not so
She
much a
like,
robotic walk. She clearly is not being puppeted or anything like that, but she is walking with purpose towards one of the sky towers, the towers that jut up every now and then that function as a docking port or a way station for airships. The one she's heading for is a good, let's see here, 40 minutes past Nyx. And she is not taking the subtram. She is walking.
well.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
So, judging by the rate of y'all are moving, and where you assume that she is heading from her directionality, y'all have maybe an hour and a half if y'all want to try and throw a plan together or something like that, or figure out something to do.
yeah. Didn't expect this to work as well as it has. I guess
We
I'm just
haven't
kind of
determined
relaying
if
this
it's worked
over.
well or not yet.
No.
Yeah. Do we want to try to end this without bloodshed if possible?
yes.
I mean, I wasn't.
Ingrid does
Yeah,
another
but-
pull for a second chain and a lock. I'm going to go ahead and roll those with guidance.
Go ahead.
Yeah. We should probably have told Cathal where we were going.
It's late
Or
at
that we were
night.
going
And-
at all.
It's starting to get late in the evening. It's getting dark. Gas lanterns are starting to flicker on with little whoosh of flames.
I just get the second chain, no lock.
Okay. As y'all get near Nyx Guildhall, the lighting starts to get more ornate, more complicated, more exposed open fire. A soft mist creeps along the ground as the street starts to cool.
I'm just gonna say, if I got us all killed by doing this, I apologize in advance.
Are all arrested? You gotta
Well,
apologize
arrested
for
we
that
can
one
deal
too.
with.
All right.
We
I'm
haven't been
fully prepared
arrested
for
yet.
the last session. That we all play our characters.
Y'all are nearing Nyx Guildhall at this point.
Okay. Do we have a plan? Do we want it to? Look,
I
we
had
know
a
that she's
plan.
been going after us, and she knows that we know that she's been going after us, do we want to try to talk her out of trying to kill us all?
Or anybody else.
I put my armor back on like I'm
Right.
trying to every hour just to have that on.
And yeah, I'm. It's like we're just walking this over. I'm gonna try to get some small talk with Hashi, just so we're not just walking silently talking over the spy's murmur. About like, so how did you get into this? How did you join the guild? How are you feeling lately? Are there any problems with your just small talk?
She does not respond to you.
Just no responses whatsoever.
Like, she acknowledges that you're talking to her and asking her questions, but she does not answer any of them.
Well then, I'm just like doing what I can to try to make her not immediately realize, oh hey, I've been mind controlled when this wears off.
I guess I'm
Maybe
a bit of a link on how we found her. I scried looking for the person who's going by the Lawmaster, and it showed her.
Passing Nick's Guild Hall now, y'all are approaching one of the towers. It rises up like a dark knife jutting from the surface of the city. You can see even this late at night a few airships moving slowly with lights cast from their bow to ensure that they don't run into anyone or anything.
Now, the rest of us don't know he cast suggestions, so this has got to feel like super creepy. She just like leaves and heads out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, hey, we need to talk. Okay, follow me. Like, okay, that was easy.
Y'all approach the foot of the tower. She sighs a little bit, turns the handle on the door, and opens it, starting to climb up the winding staircase inside of it. It is not a huge tower, but not tiny either. Maybe a 20-foot by 20-foot space, winding upwards.
Wow. Where would you find an angel? They're probably going to have outside access. Especially if we should be thankful that they have stairs at all.
She goes up to the 5th floor, high up in the sky, over 100 feet. Stepping through a archway out onto what looks like a kind of cobblestone bridge with a slight oval shape to it. There's a lit brazier off on one just a little ways away to provide light. You can see crisscrossing bridges here now, leading from one of the skyways to another. She walks out onto the bridge and pulls out what looks like a small little gemstone.
Is it a communication stone? Can Ingrid tell?
Make an Arcana check.
Can I as well?
Make an Arcana check.
I'm gonna just ask.
Nope.
Yeah, I would also.
21.
Not 21.
11.
I'm low
It's
today.
dark and you are
I'm
not
a
right
boy.
next to her, but it does look like it would meet the requirements to become one. A few seconds later, you hear the sound of something cutting through the air. A shadowy figure lowering itself down out of the sky. Wisps of hair, not bright red, but like a mulled wine, framing a angry but also kind of beautiful porcelain face. an angel alights onto the platform, just a toe touching one toe, and then the fullness of her foot, and then the other in front of Hashi. She gently puts an arm around the back of the woman and pulls her close, giving her a soft kiss before looking up in your direction, anger clouding her eyes. Hashi seems to be whispering something to her, but she does not listen. She pushes Hashi away. Her hand goes to her hip and draws forth a short blade, fire lighting along the tip.
Oh dear.
Can we tell from here if it's radiant or fire?
It looks to be fire.
Okay. I'm gonna say Rail is going to just kind of like, hold up his hands, just try to be like, can we please, just for a moment, talk before we turn to gross violence?
Are you shouting at her? None of y'all said y'all were following her, so I assumed y'all stayed at the doorway.
Oh, right, we're not that close.
Oh, I thought we were all following her.
If you're following her, then you can. I need to know where you are or what you're doing.
Yeah.
Following at a respectable distance, I'd say.
Yeah, following like about halfway between for me, I think.
So yes.
Maybe a little closer
Yeah.
because I want to be able to try to block for them if I need to.
Her wings fan as she starts marching towards y'all. Her eyes boring into Faradir. Little wisps of flame starting to catch in her hair.
Look, maybe we all got off on the wrong foot on this whole thing. I mean, do we really have to fight?
I mean, if y'all are going to give her a reason not to fight, y'all better do it soon.
You know, he didn't create the park creature, right?
Right, I'm trying to remember, why was she going after Faradir in the first place? Like the specific offense.
Zoning infraction.
Yeah, so Ingrid's just said he didn't
Zoning
create the
infraction.
park creature.
Right.
Yeah,
We
I
have
had,
to take it down before it escaped.
I had nothing to do with that. I said that in the Zone of Truth, and if you want, I can go back on the Zone of Truth.
We are here to try to ensure that justice is done.
We
and
are
that
here to try to
it's
prevent
not
further
miscarried. I'm sure you. Ow.
This
We understand
isn't
you
about
care
the past.
deeply about justice, but you don't want to miscarry it.
This isn't about the past.
I
This
would-
isn't about whatever. This is about trying to keep Ravnican safe. I think we can all agree upon that, right?
Is she just reacting at all, or is she still just kind of approaching?
This is the argument y'all are making then. Okay. Make a persuasion roll.
Like individually?
Whoever is trying to persuade her to not turn to immediate violence with the argument that you
I
have
will.
made.
Alright. I'm going to attempt.
I would like to help.
Mine's
Attempt.
just on the Faradir target thing, and mine was a 22.
Who are you helping and how are you helping, Frid?
Oh my god. I'm just
Um,
gonna stop rolling today. I
Am I
only rolled
being
more than
helped?
10 once.
no, I'll add on that we went through the proper processes, yada yada. Today's not a day for words.
Well, who are you helping? Are you helping them? Or, like, because I got a 22 for it wasn't Faradir in the park, basically, was my thing.
Yeah, no, I would like to
Rail
roll
is saying
myself.
it's like for non anyone getting hurt justice. And no, Rail was saying that. And what was your argument, Faradir?
that we all just want to keep Ragnikin safe. And I got a 20 on that.
I would like to roll myself and then add on like that. We went through all the part processes and everything else that we have been told to.
Right. I think Faradir being wrongly accused was a feature in what all of us were saying, if I understood right.
The Faradir one, I was saying you were talking about general non-bloodshed injustice, I think.
Right. Well, sorry, I was responding because you pointed out that Faradir's innocent, and I was trying to build on that.
Okay, so you're just doing the Faradir thing then. I think everyone should just do a one-sentence summary of what they were trying to persuade her. My persuasion was Faradir was not responsible for the park stuff that she tried to kill him for. That was my one-sentence persuasion. So everyone else just try to boil it down to one sentence that you did.
I'm going to say, boiling it down to one sentence, you don't want to execute an innocent man.
We should all try to preserve safety of Ravnikins.
We did what seemed best at the time, and thought everything was done properly and safely.
Did anyone roll? Who rolled higher than a 20? I know Zizabeth did. Did anyone else?
I did. I also did. I rolled 24.
Faradir got a 20 even, I think.
Yeah.
She takes 4 more steps forward. Her hair slowly flickering with flames. She draws the sword and presses the tip to her scabbard, sliding it in. You broke the law, and the corrupt court may have forgiven you.
Okay.
But I have not.
Okay, let's start with corrupt. What do we mean by corrupt?
She turns and goes back to Hashi. They whisper something back and forth. Hashi looks at Rail with just a look of pure anger. Dominion wraps her arms around Hashi and lifts them both up into the air.
About the corrupt court.
We don't want to end this with one or all of us dead.
Also,
and especially
if there's other machinations going on, we'd like to know about it because, yeah, there's a lot going on.
Why are you enacting the law against people who have been wrongly accused by the corrupt court and not actively going against the corrupt system itself?
Yes,
if the corruption is allowing all these people to be unpunished, then it seems much simpler to stop the problem at the source than allow this corruption to continue.
Make an insight check.
That was a nat 20 with plus 5.
I got
25.
I don't know if you were supposed to make an insight check, Faradir.
Let's see now. So, you can intuit from what you know of the case, what you've seen of her stance, what she has said, that she has no interest in acting within the legal system, that she sees the legal system as flawed, And so she is enacting what she feels is her own form of justice against those who break the law. And
Right.
the justice system that exists is invalid and not worth her consideration.
Right. Faradir was wrongly accused.
I guess
And I don't know what-
let's start with what exactly do you think I broke
She's
the
not
law
hanging around to talk. She's lifting
No.
off and she's flying off. She
I
disappears
don't want to
into
be
the
first
night
person
with
to go back.
Hashi.
Well, I thought we had a chance there.
You
So
managed-
I
Managed-
didn't think trying to do a hold spell on her would accomplish what we wanted. I should have probably checked with y'all, though.
She didn't kill us, so that's progress.
You managed to convince her to not immediately attack y'all.
That's progress.
Progress, yeah. Rail, what did you do?
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
She was very angry at you. And
Well, I took desperate action because I don't want to wind up waking up dead, or waking up to find out that Faradir is dead at the hands
And-
of an insane
but
Well, I
set
appreciate
angel.
that, and that's not
What?
lost upon me. What happened?
what actions were taken?
Yeah.
I did what was necessary.
Rail?
You're starting to sound like her.
Well, I
We
did what was necessary to try to
need to
avert
know.
bloodshed.
Okay.
I used the tools
What?
at my disposal to persuade Hashi.
Okay, so you
Oh,
persuaded Hashi.
Is this another situation like the dragon thing where we've started a war now?
Hopefully
don't
not.
think-
Okay,
I
that
don't
wasn't
think-
starting a war with the dragon. There was already a war in progress. I was trying to save all our lives at that point.
Well, there was not a war with the Soph in progress.
I mean,
As a player, that's what I'm talking about. The war with the Soph, not with the incursion.
I've noticed that Rail has a tendency to use the suggestion spell to
Yup.
piss off angels.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
in this case, I was trying the opposite.
I mean,
Uh,
I
come
guess
to think of
we
it,
all have our talents. but-
as far as Rail knows, is there a law against using suggestion on?
Yes!
Yes.
on government criminal
Yeah.
officials? Yeah, kind of.
Well, you can't prove
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's I would not I would not agree with that statement.
With which statement that you can't prove it?
You can't prove it, yeah.
That's
For one, she had
Well,
6
that's-
of those little bugs following her around.
Uh-huh.
Also, we already know that the Azorius can find magical traces. We know
Yeah.
that's fact.
Well, I was
Ah.
getting desperate.
I mean, we also have her like macking with Dominion of the Fallen, but
Yeah.
I
I
was
figured that
desperate.
from
and
the
this way,
beginning,
all of you
but-
have. This way, all of you have deniability. You didn't know about it in advance.
which
And I
is
was
true.
hoping, against hope, that this might end up with that. At least once, we might wind up with nobody killing anybody else.
I mean, that's
It's not
a valid. Let's just go home. Let's take the tramp home though this time.
You know though, might be really, really helpful in starting a guild war.
I thought we were trying not to start a guild war.
Okay.
No, we're not
You use
trying
this
to,
word helpful.
okay, so hear me out. Comes with the law and like how the corrupt system is, right? And she's taking it into her own hands, and she is an agent of the Boros. And there's some considerable proof that we can connect her to that. I
Well, there's
think
one
that-
scrying, theoretically.
Well, yes, there's the one scrying. There's. How should I put this?
Think
Circumstantial?
it would be a lot
Circumstantial.
easier if we sent DOF against Viviana and Corv.
Well,
Or not Corv.
yes, but
what was it? Shit.
see,
Sorry.
she has
You know who I'm talking about.
a really, really stupid idea. She has all those bugs flying around her, and they're obviously under Azorius control. And that is all the proof we need to get Rail arrested, but also convict for both of them for doing quite illegal things. Because the system is corrupt, and she can pull strings, Hashi will not get arrested. Which means, by that logic, we can get her to kill Hashi. If not, then she would be
What?
breaking her own vows and
I would
loyalty.
rather
Okay,
not.
technically, with the bugs, all they caught was them hugging and cuddling.
Not on board with the
It-
getting the people killed on purpose
Yes.
plan. Not on board.
No,
I'm
not
just gonna
getting
say that
killed on
right
purpose.
now.
When we
No.
have one insane angel serial killing
No, I'm
people,
saying that
I don't want to.
she's
Right,
not
but she's still
going to
kind
the
of
only
nice. I don't
she
really want to get her
has.
killed.
she's not going to kill Hashi.
You
I
think?
don't want her to kill anybody.
Well, no, we don't want her to kill anybody, but
With the
they
exception
would back her
of
into a
the way
really
that
corner and
Viviana-
make her really hypocritical. And angels and hypocritical beings do not normally they're one and the same normally.
Let's just
Okay.
go home.
One possibility is that things go as you expect. Another possibility is that she finds herself caught in a contradiction, kills Hashi, and then devotes all
Okay.
of her attentions to killing all of us.
Fair enough. And then if she kills Hashi, which is pretty a prominent force in the Azorius, then she would 100% have the Azorius that would be a huge red alert scenario.
I would rather not end up with any. Again, the whole point of this was try to avoid anyone else dying.
You're mute, GM.
I assume y'all are walking or on the tram at this point, heading home.
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please continue, though.
Look, and I'm assuming we're talking about potential plans of destabilizing the fucking government on Spies Murmur and not allowed. Hopefully,
I mean, yeah, but it's still you can still hear it and it's fine.
Actually, I had thought we were in place at first on that because I had one thing I was still going
Oh,
to
then,
maybe
yeah.
do. So,
That's fine. Go ahead.
so we know this is generally either a frequent meeting place or actually where her bunk is, and we know she likes to just go invisible. So, I was just going to actually just attempt to send a message because I don't have to see the target.
You do have to know their general location, but okay.
No, they have to be within range. Oh no, it's toward a creature. Never mind.
You can still try.
Okay, I'm going to point about 50, 60 feet beyond the direction they went to any stable surface like a roof where they might have lit, and just be like, we should probably continue this as a talk sometime, and then just leave.
You don't get a response. Okay, so talking on the way to the tram and then on the way home using Spy's Murmur when y'all are near other people. It would take y'all about maybe a quarter of the time to get home thanks to the trams as the hour and a half it took y'all to walk. Y'all are getting near 9 o'clock at this point, though.
yeah. Can we take a break?
Yeah, we can totally
Oh,
take
yeah,
a
it's
break.
after one.
Could you put it on an intermission? I will run some commercials.
Right. I'm in charge of that.
Okay.
Position.
Yeah, I would like to say, no matter what Rail does or says, mind controlling people is extremely unethical.
Without their
Please do not do it
consent.
in real life.
Well,
Without their consent,
yeah.
important.
Yes. Okay. Audio off.
There is at least one NPC that would very much understand a distinction on those two.
All right, I am going to run the commercials then. Let's try and be back in about 15 to 20 minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Back in a
Okay.
bit.
Please remind me to unmute when we get back. Thank you.
yeah. Hello.
Hey, we're just waiting for Meryl.
So,
Good. I
Cool.
can hear.
Yeah, of course you can hear me.
I may have to refresh because I cannot see you.
That's okay. I can't see you either.
So I'm going to.
I mean, video isn't coming out on your system, but yeah, if you want.
Okay.
Well, I don't have Tux anymore.
any updates?
On what?
You can see or hear each other?
Oh, I can see and hear myself, Halo, and Tux.
Okay,
I
cool. I
can
can
hear
hear and see all
you.
of them.
Can't see you.
I don't care about being seen. I'm the Dungeon Master, I'm not a player. Or I'm the Dungeon Master, I'm not a character. Oh, look at that kitty.
Because you are a player.
Damn right I am. Daggin. Daggin, buddy. Knock it off.
Woo, I just hit 50 levels on Minecraft.
Nice. What is he even attacking? Can you
Really?
see? Hey, I'm almost to 50 levels on Warcraft.
Nice.
Right.
I only had to stay up till like 3 a.m. to get to 40.
I have no idea what that means anymore.
Time?
Yes.
So, do you intend to end up playing playing World of Warcraft any Tux? Because you'd originally said you're going to get the expansion and then you didn't. So, I'm not sure if you intend to play or not.
Mostly because, our stream and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we'll figure it out then.
Yeah.
I think they want food and or water. I don't know.
Our evening game got canceled, so if you want to do a call and discuss World of Warcraft or not World of Warcraft and stuff like that later, we're available.
All right.
I'll probably be able to hop on after work.
Okay.
So I get off
Halo.
at 9.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Shadowrun. When are you available?
Thursday? At night? Yeah.
Hour time.
Oh,
hour. 9, 10, 8, 5.
Anywhere past 3:30 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Tux. Tux.
Probably 6 or 7. 6 is fine, now, our time.
Okay.
6 is fine now. Once, I have, to go back to the office, we may need to renegotiate.
Yeah, once...
I think a lot of our format problems have been partially how short a game it is, too, and everyone always keeps having to readjust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we might do better doing a longer one like this, maybe not 4 hours, maybe 3, and then just taking that dinner break in the middle like we have been on when we play Halo's game, when dinner's ready. Doing a 3 or 4 hour and just taking a break if people are available for that.
Okay, Halo, would you be available 7 to 10 your time?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Tux, would you be available 6 to 10 your time?
6 to 9?
I know what I said.
6 to 9 would be fine. 10. would be negotiable, but
Okay, well then at least 9. So you always ask for more, and that way you have something to give up.
Your video cut out again already. I guess I can't fix it.
Someone yell at Meryl until they
Yeah.
show up.
Meryl.
I didn't mute on my end, so the recording has all of this.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Right now it's all muted, but could somebody check the stream audio, because I had to down the volume because we were like going way into the red. So
Well, we can't check the stream volume until you start broadcasting again, right?
I know, that's what I'm asking, is could somebody like get to where like they're checking the stream
Yeah,
volume?
when we go
for
again,
first-
someone can
Yeah.
poke their nose in. That's no problem.
I did that the first time, and it sounded okay. So yeah.
Generally, chat will tell us if they can't hear us.
Yeah. Oh no, my sword broke. Damn.
Well, we have possibly gotten Faradir off the hook with the angel and gotten Rail and Treble instead.
Progress.
Which, he has clones, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
And it's not necessarily free clones. You've seen Cirsa. Now, I'm not going to repeat any numbers that may have been said out of game continuity, but Rail should probably not use a clone if he can avoid it.
That sounds like a personal issue.
But he keeps trying to get himself killed on here. So,
I said like 12, 15, 12, 20, right?
Yeah.
Do we just want to start?
No.
I mean,
Yes.
this is why I have the question mark minute intermission.
I know. I get that.
It's fine.
Is it?
Anyways, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start taking us back live.
Okay. That way we can do sound tests and stuff.
I'm unmuted. You guys are unmuted.
We are here.
Transition.
Actually, hold on. I can't see Isabel. Let me reload.
Then I probably have to do the same.
I can't hear myself, though.
Yep. And now I shall reload.
Okay, I can see everyone.
What? Wow.
Why?
Everyone died there.
I had just gotten visual on you all.
Because I didn't have visual on like anybody. So I
Okay,
had to
well,
reload. Now
okay.
you're just spinning dots. But, I guess the main thing is to be able to hear you guys. Can I get a mic check on this?
hello.
Yay, okay.
Okay, so we're going to be resuming Shadowrun hopefully sometime next week with a 3-hour long session that will hopefully be our standard going forward. Also, this background music has been provided by Sirenscape. I completely forgot to fucking say that, and I'm like, hey.
Shadowrun is owned by the Tops Corporation.
Well,
Just
we're
in
not
case-
even playing that this time.
Yeah, but we mentioned it. So we probably had to do
Better
it
be safe
to
than sorry.
maintain their ambivalence.
What were you playing on your Switch?
Animal Crossing.
Oh, you
Nice.
Luddite. That looks like a really good sandwich.
That's because it's pizza.
What?
That's because it's pizza.
Ah,
Yes.
is it one of those like Papa John's ones?
No, it's Pizza Hut.
Oh, it's Pizza Hut. Cool.
Yeah.
I've heard those Papadillas are good.
I've heard good things. I had a bowl of leftover stuffing. I am
Nice.
slowly clearing out the Thanksgiving stuff that I'm interested in.
That's cool.
I am
Oh yeah,
eating
that's right. Now
Buffalo
that you
chicken.
stay with your family, I guess that's one good thing. You're
Yeah.
where all the leftovers are.
I mean, that's generally what we have for breakfast and lunch.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been clearing out mine too. I've eaten like 3 Manhattans this week.
Oh, I could go for a Manhattan. Or a
They're so
sidecar.
good.
Or a gimlet. Oh, I would love a gimlet. I wish bars were open.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question. So Brooklyn introduced me to this, like with her grandma and her gravy.
Oh,
She
sorry
makes-
about that.
Oh, hello, cool. Before we go back, so her grandma makes giblet gravy and has like boiled eggs in it, like chunks of it.
How's it taste?
It was fine. I mean, it just added a texture to it. The egg didn't really add much flavor. It was good gravy.
I mean,
It was just-
I don't. Do they cook the egg in it, or do they pre-boil
No.
the
They
eggs?
boil the eggs. They pre-boil the eggs, and then like rough chop it, like hard-boiled eggs.
or
Yeah,
soft-boiled?
hard-boiled.
I mean,
and they
I would go with
dump it all in.
soft-boiled. I could see soft-boiled with the yolk mixing in with the gravy to add a richness to it.
Yeah, I get that.
Soft-boiled eggs added to
That
a
could be
lot of things
cool.
will help.
Let's play some goddamn D&D.
Sure.
Yes.
Also, I just want to
Fuck.
mention that, like, as much as I like diplomacy was fun and all, I really want to kill this angel. I want to fight
Aw.
I was not a...
out of character.
Okay, Zizva, turn on your camera, and everyone raise your hand if that went exactly how you expected it to go.
My camera won't load for people.
Oh, okay.
And I had ways to stop her from leaving, but I wasn't going to risk hurting his she, and no one was giving any indication that's what we wanted. So
One-
Ingrid doesn't like strike out first generally in combat unless she's given very clear indications. She's not a pulls the mob type person.
Once the hug happened,
Yeah.
some things fell into place.
Oh no, I knew that from like way beforehand. I had a feeling.
That's
I knew
why
they
I was
were together
wondering
somehow.
why y'all wanted to even go talk to Hashi, because we were just bringing her combat ads.
Yeah,
And I don't know why Ingrid ended up being the one that talked to Hashi, because every single other person in the party was, let's go meet Hashi, and Ingrid was like, I'll walk with you.
That was,
She was the only person that didn't push for going to see Hashi at all.
that was not how I expected
I
their
was talking
relationship
to
to get revealed.
I guess. I mean, like, I didn't suspect romance. I knew they were probably in cahoots somehow, but to be honest, my original intention to go to Hashi was so that Hashi would contact DOF and we would have instigate.
She did
and,
that, all right.
yeah.
So, I mean, that part I kind of thought, but then it's like, well, you know, attacking
The way I
people in front of a
phrased that-
justice is bad. I'm technically a low justice, so she outranks me. So I can't play on that.
I mean, you can't use that at all right now. You have some
Well, yeah, but
fixing first.
Mhm.
yeah, but as we all know, all it takes is lawyers.
Yeah, the way that the way that I phrased the suggestion, I was expecting her to, give us information, not to literally lead us there.
Yeah, no, you
Well,
said, get,
That's why
You
it's called
said
suggestion.
take
not
us
command.
to, you said take us to,
You said help us find
help us
her
find
and talk to her.
Talk to her. She helped y'all
Yeah.
find her.
And we
she-
talked to her.
And she's
I
all.
expecting her to be a little
yeah,
less literal.
Suggestion is a very literal
She's
spell.
Azorius.
Oh, yeah, suggestion
What
is one
did
of
you-
the most literal spells in the spell books.
Well,
It's okay. We all learned something today.
I mean, look, sometimes violence is not the answer.
So, are we going to drop back into the characters?
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
We are
Yeah.
live.
Did you
Yeah,
already notice?
All right. So,
Hi, everybody.
Tram. So, Fair Dear, you've done bounties before. They haven't been on people, though, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You can't really negotiate with a escaped monster creature, unfortunately.
Like, how do bounties work? You just, you grab them and start attacking them? I don't really get bounties. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't really understand.
I mean, ideally, and I think this goes with people too, you're trying to capture them, and it's more of a disabling them or keeping them from hurting you more than hurting them per se, if that makes sense. Typically that's your first plan, and then if it becomes a danger to others, then maybe move to trying to lethal force to stop them from endangering others.
With people, it's really different, right, though, because then they talk to you and they have reasons and stuff?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, creatures typically aren't vicious by nature. Typically, it's a fear response. So they don't go after humans on for fun. Or I say humans, I mean
People.
Yes, sorry.
So, what were you bringing them in for? They were violent, or you were just bringing them back, or?
Yeah, violent / dangerous. Again, with animals, they typically don't want to attack people or other things. They're typically forced to. So, really and truly, it's, in my opinion, it's not great to just go with the, we need to kill it.
Zizva's computer may have crashed. 1 second.
Excuse me.
Yay, I'm role-playing!
Alright, she'll be in a second. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
No worries. Technical difficulties, the podcast.
Yeah, see,
Or
we got...
stream, I guess.
See, we found a workaround where we're having Tuck stream and me record, so of course the technical difficulty bugs had to move to other people.
Exactly, but at least this way they're
How it
more
works.
distributed.
Yes, distributing responsibility. Hi.
Hi, I'm back.
Hi.
Sorry about that. I wonder if my camera works now. We'll see.
Does not for me.
Okay, well, I'll hide it again then. Yeah, sorry. So you were saying about bringing them back because they were dangerous, right? Sorry, I missed.
Yeah,
stuff.
typically dangerous meaning in Potentia. Generally speaking, they don't actively hunt people. They just they act in what they perceive as self-defense, but people are stupid and don't know how to handle creatures and not provoke them, so yeah, I have to try to restrain the creature and bring them in for either testing or just captivity for their own safety. So kind of like people in a way. In fact, actually with people it's a little more complicated because they actually do hunt other people.
So, and Nick's going to go back to Spice Murmur and ping everyone individually real quick. We need to discuss if we tell Cathal what Rail did.
Why would she? I mean, I think that she needs to know so that we can all respond appropriately.
So then Fairdeer messages his response out to each group member, right?
Well, at least back to you.
I mean, y'all are back in your location. Y'all can just talk.
Oh,
Okay. Since we're back,
yeah,
I'm going to get more
we
birds.
probably need to put that.
Ingrid
Down.
puts out several dead birds.
That's not creepy.
They get up and stir, and then I shove them into the bag of holding.
I was gonna say, Ingrid, you're getting lunch ready early.
They stand very still as she picks them up, and they do not object or fight as she shoves them in the bag.
Well,
That's up
Fairdeer
to
kinda
20.
just-
20 to go.
Doesn't watch that because it still kind of disturbs him in his view of nature.
Say, Hermes, don't try to bite them. They're in use.
The
Oh,
mournful
crows
mist shall
attack other
rise, and darkness shall consume. Those who seek out strange places shall find themselves set on other tides. Caw, motherfucker.
Where do you get this? Do you just come up with it? Is this something you read?
Are you asking me or Hermes?
Hermes. Can
See
you read?
the caw comment. After she summons birds, Ingrid starts getting out her little jewelry melting kit. I'm going to go to the lab. I want to talk in the lab. I feel like now that we have a lab, I should melt gold in the lab.
There is a large construction in the lab, but there is some workspace.
There is.
Yeah.
Yes. Also,
Right. What was
did my
this
goblin
thing?
ever come back?
Did your what?
The goblin I sent off ever come back with the tinkering tools?
Oh, yes. They are in the lab. They have been added to the lab.
Cool, thank you. I'm gonna add them to my character sheet then.
Could we just have that as part of the lab?
Then we need to buy another one because those are his tools.
Okay.
We can use company funds. I mean, I
Yeah.
did use personal funds. You can always ask me for them, by the way, but like,
Yeah.
Fairdeer,
I
if
guess
you
that's
need
true.
something, supply requisition, you are supposed to come to me. Fairdeer, would you like to put in a request for something?
I think maybe we need some tinkering tools in the lab. So,
Okay, in the morning we'll try to send someone off.
Shouldn't that be
Okay.
run by the decisionist?
now, do we just
I don't know, Rail, would you like to have a vote for if we get tinkering tools?
Sure.
May
let's
I
have a vote
offer
on
another option? Can we have a vote on if we should get a set of every tool for the lab?
it. That would be a significant expenditure. And do we have enough room for that?
It would be like we would have enough. We could have a whole shelf for it. Once I get this thing up and running, we'll have a lot more room in the lab.
Hmm.
And we don't
Well,
need to get
we
every
don't
single
need brewers. I mean, Om has that
No.
covered, right?
Yeah, we don't need brewers. We don't need cooks utensils. We don't need other stuff. But like,
know if these tools would.
Ingrid has those.
I mean,
We don't know if these tools. What?
Well, so does Rail. But we're trying to talk in
I guess
character.
in my mind, it's just having like a set of tools available so that you don't have to ask somebody who has it if you want
Yeah.
to do something. But that's just me.
A
It's
tool
kind of like
library.
if you have like a garage, you have like an open sort of maybe not like the best quality of tools, but you have something there. so
Well,
that people
like we did our training. We kind of read through the books together, and like say Fairdeer got alchemy set training, right?
Mhm.
So none of us know how to use the tools except Fairdeer, and he already has them. So I don't know why we would really need them in the lab. We could just be like, "Hey, Fairdeer, help me identify this thing," right?
yeah,
That's fair.
Hey, Fairdeer, did you ever identify the weird goop from the Mysium Foundry that you have the vial of?
That's a good question.
And
Ingrid only brings it up like once a week to Fair Deer.
So something else springs to mind. I don't think we can guarantee, however this shakes out, I don't think we can guarantee that we're going to get any kind of payout for the Lawmaster writ.
I just don't want her murdering people, honestly.
Yeah, it's just when it comes to 600 murders, it's just...
But we owe your mom the favor either way.
How are we doing financially?
Also, devotion comes into that at some point.
Because, I mean, like, she can't take a percent if there's no payout, but we owe her that favor either way. So we have 1,700 gold. I mean, a payout would be good, for sure. Especially since those crystals we were going to try to sell from underground weren't selling. And we had counted on that for some money. But, I mean, we're okay as long as we don't keep going out and buying expensive Earthbind scrolls and stuff. We spent quite a bit on this already.
As a note, I have 1,200 gold. So, like, I'm starting to think that maybe I don't need gold as much as some other participants. Is anybody particularly low on funds?
I mean...
Because, I mean, I know that we need, like, diamonds and stuff, and I don't...
I mean, everyone just had a payout for 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that may be the lowest we rail?
Yeah, but I'm okay for a bit on money. I was more worried about, is the Second Sight Agency going to have enough money to keep going?
Yeah.
I mean, I can always learn our new spells when we get to money, but I'm okay on money right now. I think if you just want to go buy a diamond, that's an option. On downtime, you could help me to cut one. That's an option too.
Also, we could, once we do our interviews and expansion, we can...
We haven't been told in game that we have that yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was part of the training.
That stuff was put off because I was under the expectation that y'all would be fighting an angel. And so I didn't want to spend 16 hours prepping NPCs when I could be spending 16 hours prepping an angel to kill you all. Since y'all no longer are immediate threat of being murdered by the angel, then we will be moving forward with interviews soon.
Yeah, like in game, we've been told that there would be interviews. We were told that there were going to be interviews, but we weren't told about any of like the extra features or anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's a player.
Yeah, that's all been Acquisitions Inc. book and player knowledge.
I was under the impression that we were more likely to be murdered now than before. Okay.
Me too. Well,
I said I was immediate.
That's a personal problem. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well,
you got clones.
I don't know if the clones work. As far as I know,
also, you don't know what the clones might cost. It is Circe.
That's true.
I mean, we had always assumed, like, if we died and came back as clones, we'd probably wake up married or something. If you die, I have no idea what the result would be.
Half a marriage.
Let's not find out if we can avoid it.
I mean, I guess that's my current relationship status, half marriage.
I mean, do we assume she's still under immediate attack? Like, this is going to be canceled if we don't do something soon. Do we want to go attack her? Like, I'm not sure where we're at.
I'm gonna put it forward. I don't like just shooting a person in the face.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like, if she's not a threat, I don't really feel comfortable just killing her outright.
I don't feel comfortable with her killing another 600 people either, though.
Yeah, but I just mean, I think that we could play the long game of, counseling. I mean...
That assumes we find her and we talk to her and that she wants to not kill 600 more people?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as it stands now, unless she kills somebody else or something, then it's sort of, I don't feel particularly interested in going after her. That's just me.
The
but-
door to the lab opens and Cathal pokes her head in. Hey, y'all are going to be homeless for like 2 or 3 days, and then I have interviews for y'all. So, pack your
Well then.
bags. I got y'all a room at the spa again. And she closes the door behind her.
Starting tonight?
Okay, well,
My machine.
Y'all know I'm going to
hopefully it'll
Farkeep,
go
right?
alright.
Just saying.
going to get with my wife and help her pack.
Oh, how is she doing?
Well, I
Or have
think.
you?
Footloose.
But y'all want to stay at the spa, right? Not, we'll do the dates some other time. The triple date or whatever.
Thinking, Ivana, you weren't with us when we were at the spa previously, were you?
No, I was.
You
Yes.
had-
You made her
Okay, I
sleep in
thought
the
you
chair.
enjoyed-
I don't sleep.
Oh, right, that was at the spa. Okay. Yeah.
At least get her a comfy mat trance on. Sheesh.
So, how long do we
I'm
have?
not an
When-
elf.
when is the play again?
The play is in a day and a half.
Wait,
So, play is in
Yeah.
a day and a half. That
Hmm.
will probably be interesting.
hang on.
Uh,
I want to do a nature check on that. I don't sleep.
Okay.
I'm horribly tempted to try to send the
Who said
Angel
I
and
don't
Hachi
sleep?
tickets to the
Nirvana.
play.
Ivana.
Oh, she
clearly
actually
she
said
is
it.
a
I missed her
celestial
say
being.
it.
Yeah, she's an. Wait, is she an elf?
She's
thought she was
half
an
elf.
She
Half elves don't trance.
half elf. You usually sleep.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
thinking a 7 nature check isn't going to get me.
You're okay, sure.
I mean, maybe she's a variant.
Or is it a paladin thing? I don't know.
You know that she doesn't
Does she
sleep.
look tired?
No.
I know, but at the time I figured it was a racial thing. I was like, wait a
Yeah,
second.
all you've ever
She's
seen
not
her
a full
do
elf.
is sit and read her book. Her little
Is that like-
holy book.
A magical thing? I mean,
So
I
if I
guess.
just leave tomorrow for Farkeep and then I come back that next day to work on business stuff, y'all will be all right, right?
Hopefully you'll be all right.
yeah, just. You wouldn't have any way of contacting us if you were in danger, do you?
I mean, I guess I could.
I mean, just,
Do you want me to contact you?
if you're in danger, yes, I do.
Ingrid sighs and gets a book out of her pouch and turns to a blank page. Okay, fair dear, write down your name.
My real one or the one you know me by?
Fair dear will work.
Okay. And I write down my name.
So Ingrid slides the book back over and goes, testing, can you hear this? And writing.
Tux, as you write your name, the ink from the quill kind of burns into the page a little. Little wisps of shadow coming off of it.
Okay, this
And
thing's
then
not
you
gonna
hear
make me
Ingrid's voice in
strangle.
your head.
This one's not gonna make me strangle chickens and attack Muggleborns, right?
Only if I can convince you to.
That shows up
Okay.
written in your book.
Damn it, nobody got that joke.
Sorry.
Seriously, nobody's read Harry Potter?
I mean, I have,
I
but it's
haven't.
been like
J.K.
past
Rowling
fourth
is a
grade.
trope.
Okay.
Yeah, she's awful.
Frizz, do you want that scroll of earth binding while I'm gone, just in case?
Um,
I mean, you could always go. There's a cool foundry down there you could investigate.
I think that's true.
I think it's best to stick together. Sure, let's go.
I mean,
Okay, so Communication Stone, we may be able to visit soon if the timing is okay. The group would like to come also, but could stay at the inn.
My dear, I look forward to seeing you again and hope to spend many hours in your presence.
Okay, I think we're good for visiting tomorrow. I'll drop off the stone tomorrow at the Magic College. Y'all want to go to the Magic College in the morning?
Yeah, we can check out the lab while we're there.
I mean, I mean, Eminestria Arasa likes magic, right?
We would have to get her a ride, though. No, yeah. We could walk down. We could take the tram and just walk over, and then we could get new dramas. We could purchase more dramas while we're there.
Okay.
Do you think she'd like her own Dramid?
I don't know.
For the record, Amnestria has only ever really shown her interest in her divination skills when it comes to magic.
Maybe she could use a new set of augury tools.
Well,
Yeah,
why don't
she-
you...
Her augury tools were confiscated by Cathal.
She didn't get those back?
Maybe she could definitely use a new pair of
Yeah.
a new set of augury tools. Then.
Augury's like cheap, but her scrying, which was her specialty, is 1,000 gold worth of stuff to scry.
That's a bit much.
Yeah, there's a reason why she's mostly just been keeping herself busy cooking for everyone and doing some light housework and paperwork.
Okay.
You can see
Yeah.
if she wants to go on the trip, though. I mean, we're gonna stay at the bathhouse tonight. Then we go tomorrow. We come back the next morning, the morning of the play. So we just stay one night in Farkeep. That's the plan.
Sure.
We have
mean,
the
she might
daytime
want to
to
take
explore
care
the
of that.
museum thing while Verthin is at work.
I need to check with my wife first.
Since Ingrid figures it's going to be at least an hour while people go and organize, she waves her hands 2 more times and 10 more birds lift themselves up and then get shoved into the holding bag.
The last one
What?
makes like a squawking sound for a second before it goes in.
Sorry, Hermes.
Planning on with this. Oh god, not Hermes. Don't put Hermes in the bag.
Okay, 30 down, 10 to go.
Pie.
I'm wondering if I should, well, I don't know, use ascending to try to apologize to Hashi. I don't know.
More thought-influencing magic? I don't know about that. How about one of those magic
Isn't an
postcards you've
influence,
got?
no?
You know, hey, I'm sorry about that thing I can't admit to on a postcard, but just wanted to let you know.
That's
Oh,
a
speaking
thought.
of the postcard, I need another one. I gave mine to Frizz.
Do we have any other postcards?
You have 4.
Do I? I don't have them on my sheet.
Asham gave someone 5 postcards.
Oh, I have 6 postcards. Never mind. I typed it out post space card, not postcard.
Was it 6?
Uh,
Yeah, it was 6. Okay.
Okay, so I have 6. So you want one, Ingrid?
Yeah.
So I now have 5 postcards, and you have 1.
I had one before, which went to Frizz, so you have 4.
Okay.
And so Ingrid just writes a quick note to Marlin. Mentioned you ask if he's okay. He seems to be doing good and settled. Hope you're doing well, bye. And drops it in the post office. The box outside, not like the office.
There's like a
So
couple.
these aren't like magic postcards; they're just postcards, right?
Did anyone cast Identify or Detect Magic?
No one did that.
I mean,
Nope.
are you suggesting that in character? I'm like, I hadn't thought of it. They could be.
Okay. I
You
guess
want
I
to
was
wait-
asking
you
as
want to wait
general
10
player
minutes?
knowledge, but if we don't know,
We
in
have no
character-
player knowledge.
In the,
Asham
magic
gave them
stuff
to
doesn't
y'all.
necessarily.
Yeah, Asham gave them to y'all and said if you need to send messages to someone, these postcards will get the message to them.
He mentioned fast. Fast was in that description.
Yes, quickly.
Ballistic postcards.
Maybe we
Oh,
should start using just regular postcards for.
So
Regular
Ingrid
correspondence.
comes back in. She's like, at some point we should probably, tell Asham Frizz is a member. Like, we should do that at some point, right?
Eventually.
He
Wait,
probably
does-
knows.
Fritz know who Asham is.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
I can't remember if Asham and Frizz have met.
I don't think they've met. I think
No, I've heard the name.
The names come up with the give him the spy's murmur and don't lose that. It's expensive. Asham would be mad.
There we are. Okay.
Yeah. No, I know about Asham and the fact that the name Asham has been mentioned enough that I know a vague idea of who Asham is.
You could also
Never
just
met
ask
them,
her
but-
whisper
And
tone.
we've talked about going to the post office to see Asham about the fan book because Fairdeer wanted to do that. So we brought him up
Yeah.
in that context too. So we
Yeah,
brought
he's
him
been
up
brought
in
up at least, like,
reference
4
to
times.
going by the post office to see Asham.
Yeah, I mean, I think Asham probably already knows, but I mean, if we want to do the formal introduction, I guess.
We could drop Asham a postcard.
You just really like
Good.
postcards. Are you like doodling on the postcards?
No.
I mean,
People
it's
do
okay.
that?
Yeah,
Oh, well, I'm out of postcards, so I can't.
you could just use regular postcards. We probably have company postcards.
I have no idea. And Ingrid goes to check the supply closets where she gets notebooks and inks and stuff normally.
There is a small stack of postcards, yes.
Do they like? So they don't have like with the stamps like our world, right? That's
No,
their guild
they're
duty, and they
just-
do that. Ingrid takes a few postcards and puts them in her bag.
Add
done.
5 postcards to your inventory.
But you want to like check on the twins or anything? I mean,
You mean Rithen and Kalin? Like Kalin, I'm gonna go drop the communication stone off to, and Rithen, we're gonna go stay there for a day.
I thought you had some sort of twins with family, cousins.
Oh yeah, but they won't write me back.
Well,
And they're already in the area, and I think Circe's kind of keeping them hostage from me for good behavior.
you should write them a
Really?
letter or a postcard.
I don't know where they are now because they're not at the house. I'd have to just write it care of Circe. And I mean, that's viable. I could do that.
I mean, isn't that the
I
post
think they're
office's job?
kind of being kept political hostages right now.
I'm so
That's
happy.
less than ideal.
I need to write some postcards.
Oh, who do you need to write?
Probably my family. Compose some letters, be like, hey, it's been a while. I'm alive.
Oh, the I'm not dead letter. Oh, that's so hard. I just did that recently to my sisters. I hate those.
Yeah, but you had to put I'm not dead asterisk. And then explain
dead.
what the hell you meant.
Wow, shot fired.
I'm not dead, fair dear.
Oh no, but I mean,
I am going to not comment.
I don't mean that pejoratively. I'm not saying you don't have like rights or you're somehow lesser. I mean, probably the ability to go without eating or sleeping or breathing are probably
Oh, look, Dominion doesn't have to
advantageous.
sleep or breathe or eat, probably. And no one's like, she's dead. Otherwise, we'd already have the bounty.
Well, yeah, but she's not alive.
Well, like, I have a heartbeat, and, like, I don't have cold skin or anything, and I didn't die.
I mean,
That is
scientifically,
an
the
important
ability to
distinction.
reproduce is part of the definition of alive, and I don't think angels can do that. So, technically, I don't
I
believe
mean,
they
if
fit
you
the
want to walk
scientific
up to
definition.
Dominion and ask her,
To every woman over menopause, congratulations on your newfound undeath.
I'm just
That was
I'm
just
just imagining
so...
Faradir
Look,
walking
I
up
don't
to Dominion
make
going,
quick.
"Hey, can you
rules.
breed?"
I don't mean her specifically. I mean angels in general. You know what I mean. Damn it.
I think I've seen enough abominations to know that life is sometimes a gray area.
Fine.
Besides, Susa probably thinks I'm alive and can have kids. Otherwise, like, it'd be really bad planning for the family thing.
We
You
can
know
always
what?
adopt
I'm starting
heirs
to
for our-
regret bringing this up. I thought it was just a simple restating of scientific fact. Apparently, this went in a direction I don't like, so I'm gonna go find my wife and see what she wants to do about all this.
Okay,
Going on
I'll
in
see
the
y'all
future.
bright and early in the morning to go to the Magic College. Okay, everyone?
All right.
Okay,
stay safe.
and I don't think you're
Hey.
dead.
Okay, thank you. That's a good clarification.
Arissa is
Okay.
down on the goblin floor. She is sitting at a table playing a card game with 4 half-naked goblins. It seems to involve playing cards, stacks of small gold bars, and what looks like a multi-tiered whatchamacallit, the wheel that you spin in Vegas and throw the ball on. Roulette wheel, yes.
A roulette wheel, yeah.
You're playing gambling against a diviner. Brilliant. No wonder they lost their shirt.
Yes. Is everything okay?
Yeah, we, as you know, they're kind of closing up the base for reconstruction. Something Cathal was rather vague about it.
Nothing
You
like
wanna,
that has
like-
been mentioned to us.
Oh,
Like the guy. Yeah. No. What?
wanna hang out?
Yeah. Sure. Hi. He holds up his hand.
Hi.
Gimbal.
Hello, Gimbal.
The other one holds it down. Ranked.
Hello.
The fourth one
I'm
holds up
Harrier.
her hand. Is Maches.
I don't have to remember these names, do I?
There's
We're
like
going to
20
have to send
goblins that
Sorry.
work for
proper
y'all.
training.
Can I do an intelligence check to figure out if I actually, in character, know their name if it's only 20?
Sure. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
17.
You've heard the names before.
I'm Faradir. Arasa. Want to hang out?
Right now, or
Not necessarily right now, but like,
I mean,
no.
I can't. Hold on. Like she just kind of picks up a few of the gold bars. It's like, okay, I'm done.
I'm not clear on the rules, but I suspect you won.
Okay. Oh, it's just a friendly game.
Well,
Ingrid's
So,
still melting gold in the lab during this.
well, I may have some more for you. Yeah, so I'm gonna ask her about like if she had any interest in like all those plans of going to Farkeep, going to the Magic College.
I've been to the Prism University before. What's Farkeep?
Just kind of it's where Ingrid's what's the official term?
Consort.
Consort lives.
Oh, okay.
We're going to visit them. They have a really interesting mansion. I don't know if we're going to go or not.
Okay.
I just wondered if you wanted to hang out, just kind of.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I don't. If this place is shutting down for a few days, then I don't have anything to do.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought, we should probably spend some time together.
The three golems are sitting there looking back and forth between y'all as y'all talk.
It's the most entertainment they've had in days.
So,
Yeah,
hooray!
sure. Just let me know when we're going.
Okay. Then I will leave her be for now.
She said, okay. She sits back down and puts the miniature gold bars back onto the top tier of the roulette wheel. Ingrid,
This
you're
be
melting
like-
gold.
An investigation check to figure out what's going
Yeah.
on, or
Yeah, sure.
okay. I believe that's a 20.
20? Okay, it looks to be that they are playing a round of cards. They place the stake in the upper tier of the roulette wheel. After each hand of cards, they spin the wheel and bounce the ball across the roulette wheel, which seems to affect the amount of cards they draw on the next turn.
Interesting. Okay, back to Ingrid.
Yeah, I'm just melting the gold down for the bird skull. I've already prepped for the material component for her new spell.
I can see Ingrid sitting there in front of a cauldron of bubbling gold with a bird skeleton attached by a wire ready to be dipped.
Sounds about right.
Is anyone else doing anything? Keep in mind it's like 9 o'clock at night at this point.
Checking on the scraps.
It's muted, and mostly like I'm getting ready to go to the other place after this. It's just don't want to leave bubbling gold going when you've already heated it.
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Scraps, let's see. The last time he was trying to figure out how to get out of the Erlenmeyer flask that he got entrapped in, correct?
Yep.
Let me roll his intelligence. And that is a -5, so that is -2.
Well then.
Scraps is still trapped in the Erlenmeyer flask. It's
He's
kind
doing
of
his
been
best.
banging around. He can't quite seem to get tipped over.
You know what? I'm tempted to cast what was it? Fox's Cunning on him? On it?
Okay, that'll give him
Why?
advantage, right?
Enhance ability. Tempted. I didn't say I was doing it because he's already well.
He wants to
I'll
eat
save the spell
us.
slot for now.
He sees us as food.
Well, yes, but
Why would you
It's
want
all
to?
about-
Waiting for Rail to cast Awaken on this thing.
I don't have that spell yet.
Yeah.
I'm worried.
You're not there.
Yeah.
Okay, Rail, are you casting Fox's Cunning or
So-
whatever?
What? I am not. Also, I don't think I ever get that spell. Also, it only works on beasts and plants.
He's like a plant.
So I
He's
don't think it
almost
would work for it
vegetable.
anyway.
Yeah.
He's almost vegetative.
I don't know. But yeah.
It also costs
No,
1,000 gold.
Yeah, well that too. But I have scraps because everybody needs a hobby. Alright?
Especially scraps.
All right.
All right. Yep. So Scraps is
Anyway.
trapped in. You have to put food in the Erlenmeyer flask for it, otherwise it will starve. Because it is stupid and
I will put
trapped.
food on the Erlenmeyer flask. Aw.
It bubbles and starts dissolving the food. Make a charisma
We'll
check
look at that
for me.
eventually. Charisma check.
Yeah, just
Okay.
roll charisma.
Charisma +1. 14.
All right.
First roll above 10 today.
Thank you.
Also, if there's time, I do want to start researching more on the Raven's Talon if I can.
Researching in what manner? Are you casting a spell, or are you going and reading books?
Have we learned everything that there is to learn about it through Identify, or would Identify work? Or would I not be
The
able
sound
to
is
tell?
blank again.
Identify.
Me?
I'm sorry, my rhythm keeps on getting thrown off. Identify has stopped giving you any what feels like useful information at this point on it.
Okay, in that case, historical research. Because we still don't know who forged the Raven's Talon or why.
All right. Make just a flat investigation check for me.
Okay, that I can do. 18.
18. Looking it
Yep.
over, you do find a maker's mark very subtly worked into the feather patterning of the head of the dagger. It is a circle with the. Hold on, where is that at? Sorry, having to open up notes because I didn't think anyone was actually going to ever do this. Deep
Never
notes.
expect a player to do the expected. Always expect them to do the unexpected.
Come on. And of course, it's being slow loading.
But of course.
Well, out of character, if you do find out the name, you should contact a certain loremonger and see if he can find out more information.
Damn right. But. Well, sorry, we didn't go over what you're doing for the.
Sorry, I'm looking for something over a
Uh.
year old at this point.
Fair enough.
Damn.
There's no such thing as completely forgotten lore. Only lore that takes the players a while to get back to.
Yes.
Keep on going. Can do both.
Ingrid would want to ask Cathal if she needs to move her tree or not.
No, I mean, you can, but you don't need to. No, nothing's going to be going on in here.
Okay, I'll leave it.
Excuse me.
All right, I can't find it. I'm going to have to get back to you on that one once I go
No
through
worries.
my deep notes.
Yeah, it's nothing urgent. It's more just, hey, we stopped looking into this. I want to look into this more. Yeah, but that's it for Rail as far as time until we head out to the thingy goes. Bathhouse.
Yeah.
Spa.
All right. Frizz, Ferelden, what are you up to?
I mean, I just have to pack some of my stuff, and then other than Tinker's tools, I want to take apart the gun.
Okay. Make a. Do you have proficiency with Tinker's tools?
I believe I do. I do indeed.
All right. Make a Tinker's check using intelligence as your base.
Wait, plus 6 then. That will be 22.
All right. You. It takes a little bit, but you do manage to disassemble the firearm and have a general idea of how it works.
Are you doing that in the lab where Ingrid is? I'm just asking because I had to talk.
Yeah, yeah.
So while everyone's gone and Ingrid and Frizz are working in the lab, Ingrid's going to be like, "So, what were your impressions about devotion?"
Sorry. Ignore me.
He's very unique, to say the least.
I'm a little worried about how attached Rail might seem to him when, he obviously has other interests.
Here it is. Found. Sorry. To interrupt real quick, the Maker's Mark has a stylized A within a C.
AC. Why does that bode ill?
All right. So anyway, continue, please. Sorry.
It just, Rail has seemed somewhat taken by him, but obviously he's got, we don't want him to hurt his budding relationship with Mavana. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on that.
I mean, Rail does strike me as sort of a player. I can't think of a thing he hasn't flirted with, or a person he hasn't flirted with yet. I mean, there's the whole thing with getting married to you, and then Mavana, and, that could definitely be something. Though I don't think a relationship with a devotion like that would be smart unless you were trying to gain something from it,
In the past, he's offered for him to come back to the office for a nightcap. Offered for, devotion to come back to the office.
That might not be safe, but would be quite interesting.
To confirm, did Ferelden ever tell anyone what he heard when he asked the Whisper Jar about devotion?
I believe we were all there except for Rail, and it was audible.
Okay, just
and
checking.
even Devotion chuckled at it.
I'm just thinking I flirted with Devotion once, I think. Like, damn.
Out of character. I mentioned that Frizz would definitely want to bang Devotion, and she's trying to get me to open up about it in character.
Okay. I was just kind of confused.
It's just, I feel like we should try to run some kind of interference whenever they try to flirt,
She's trying to set up a love triangle.
Okay. Alright.
And now basically I was like, do we want to try to avoid devotion because we're trying to get Rail to not flirt? And Frizz was like, but devotion's sexy.
In character.
Before, yeah, that's where that's coming from.
See, you can hear that chuckle under her voice, which means she's not disagreeing with what I've said.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, in character, I think that at least having some sort of past relationship with devotion would be quite useful, or just general terms, especially I think for learning who or what is happening to me in the future or past or however that works, because he knows something or he pretends to know something that I don't.
He did seem to have some knowledge about you, and that was, as far as we know, your first meeting.
Yeah. Which is quite peculiar. And I mean, he is powerful to say the least. Now, I'm not below using people, but devotion is not something the type it would be wise to use.
Oh no.
Though, just having connections would be nice, and if they are positive, then it would be helpful in the future. You know?
But I was just thinking, like, maybe we can distract from the topic whenever, Rail tries to flirt or do a nightcap. Just,
So, convince him not to, or try to get someone else to stop that in the moment?
I mean, I think convince him not to would be sufficient. I mean,
Yeah?
he's very dangerous. So flirting with him could potentially lead to loss of limb or other injury.
Yes.
Loss of limb.
Yeesh.
I wouldn't suggest necessarily flirting as the best decoy from that, but just bringing up other stuff to talk about to distract a bit.
Yeah. Then we should mention that to him later and then set it up for the future where let's hopefully convince Rail to focus on one love interest.
I was just going to talk to only you about helping distract, because I mean, Fairdeer, when we're trying not to talk about a dragon, says it right in the middle of an inn. I don't think he's subtle enough for that.
Fair.
And,
I don't think.
And Rail, if you tell him to do anything, he's going to run and do the opposite.
He'll do
Just the
exact
moment. Just the very moment. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. That is true. Well, stop it in the moment then. We won't mention anything. It'll be fine.
I mean, if we can't, we can't. But let's try to keep it subtle if we do, because Devotion seems also very perceptive of people.
Oh yes, no, he's definitely very perceptive. Be able to keep it subtle enough, though. It'll be fine. I mean, during the whole show he's going to run, I mean, he'll probably kill Rail anyway.
That is a worry.
It's a worry, but
I mean, after what happened tonight, though, Dominion might crash the show to kill him.
ooh, they both could be trying to kill him. That would be interesting.
It would be a spectacle, wouldn't it?
It would be a spectacle.
Remember, the question was, does Devotion want to kill me? That Rail asked of his divination or community.
Yes.
Oh, hey, I finished the skull. How does it look? Shiny?
She's holding up a
Very
gold
shiny.
gilded bird skull.
Very nice.
I'll give it a try once we're, rested a little bit more and packed in over there.
No, I understand.
That's all Ingrid had for that conversation. She just wanted to bring up interfering in the flirting.
I have a question about the golden stuff. Did you use all of the gold in that?
Oh,
Like, is there like a little tiny bit left? Dang.
Oh, yeah, don't forget, you disassembled the gun.
The burner's
yeah,
still
yeah.
hot if you want to throw a couple coins in, though.
Yeah, fair enough. I could throw a couple coins in. I just want it for cosmetic reasons. I don't need it. Just to engrave the thing. The big old machine. So like a little, nice little golden, thin name on the side, but it's fine. I don't need it. I'll do it later with something else, like something like a lighter metal.
Well, I've always got the tools, and the jeweler's tools might have a little bit of finer engraving tools. That's what I used on the ring.
Oh, true. Then I might ask for your help later in engraving it.
Cathal comes into the lab. Why is there a copper dome coated in flour on the roof?
There is?
Yes. So, if that was a bit of a plan.
Right.
Angel person.
Would you like for me to unwind it?
No, I just, like... And she turns and walks.
Cannot blame her. Cannot blame her even a little bit.
Everyone packed up!
Yeah, I want to, before we leave, also reassemble the gun.
Make
Keep
a
it in the
tinker's
place.
check.
Like not in the lab, but like in the office.
Yeah.
I'll give him guidance on his tool stuff before I go to check on, see if everyone's ready.
I mean, it's already a 26. With guidance would be like, let's see. Before that. 28.
You put it back together. It clicks when you pull the trigger. You're fairly sure you got it back in the right sequence.
Don't
Cool.
try fire it.
No, I made sure not to put any of the clip in or any of that.
Yeah, dry firing guns is really bad.
Yeah.
Anyways,
No, it's really bad. Dropping guns. Every time they do that in a movie, I'm all like, no, why?
Yeah.
Anyways, I help.
Alright, I think they're all ready.
Myself, pack up to leave.
Alright. She is still limping.
Which is why I help her.
Yeah, but yeah, she packs fairly lightly. Still has no idea where she's going. You told her we're going to. You told her we're going to the university, and then we're going to go see Ingrid's consort. Not we're going to go 4 miles underground.
Oh,
Well, actually, we're going to the bathhouse for tonight, and then we're leaving in the morning to go to the Prism University.
I'll relay all that. I just wasn't paying
She's
attention.
like,
when
oh,
Ingrid said that, so.
okay. Yeah. She immediately starts changing out clothes that would be, more suited for walking around to stuff that, is a little bit more protection against, falling rocks, jagged metal pipes, and the like.
No, they repaired the bathhouse.
I mean, you've noticed the Golgari member wears like doubled clothes, right?
I'm joking. Sorry if I didn't mention that before.
No, it's okay. It's just you don't wear a bathing suit to the church.
No, but you probably should have a bathing suit because we are going to the bathhouse first.
Why?
For bathhousing?
She arches a brow and shrugs.
Oh, we're going to the bathhouse because we have to not be here for a few days, according to Cathal.
Right.
So we're going to the bathhouse because they have some sort of agreement.
I get it, honey.
Okay.
And she pats him on the cheek and goes back to packing.
Yay, affection.
She on the flesh cheek.
Yes. Yay, affection. Okay,
Right.
and I'll be sure to pack my stuff as well. And case stuff.
I grabbed my 10 last birds from the office and get them ready for later tonight.
Okay. Rel, anything last minute you're doing?
I already went over that.
Okay, just checking because other people have been doing stuff, and then there was this whole conversation about how Rel hits on anything that moves.
Once. He hit on devotion once.
I don't know, that last time was
Jeez.
kind of flirty, offering the firstborn and stuff.
And you weren't
That-
stopping him from stroking your chest with knifey fingers.
That's
Yeah.
because I didn't want to do the wrong thing and wind up stabbed.
So now we know how to make Rail
Yeah, Rail was
calm down.
very uncomfortable at that point.
I mean, Ingrid took it like he's just letting Devotion pet his chest. Like, that's how Ingrid took it. So that's why she's concerned and bringing it up with Frizz.
Yeah, no, as far as Rail's concerned, go for it. You'll probably wind up dead, but go for it.
Okay, so we got about 10 minutes before we call this, so I want to just say that this background music has been provided by Sirenscape. Please follow us on Twitter at Bonus Roll for updates, information, and stuff like that. Congratulations to Tux for becoming stream manager of the Bonus Roll until I can figure out what the hell is wrong with my computer. Anything y'all want to do before we call it? Last minute, last chance.
Nope. I'm all good.
Good.
All right.
I'm good.
Our schedule will be updated on the Twitch page down below sometime next week. We have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/thebonusroll. Going forward, we are going to be offering other incentives beyond just old videos and videos that haven't aired. Things like GM's Brew homebrew items that I will not be putting on D&D Beyond or on the GM's Guild. And possibly even Patreon-only games. We'll see.
Ooh.
Yeah, join Patreon. And then I will do a raffle periodically, and the winners will get to play through one of the older modules like Curse of Strahd or Descent into Avernus, run by me, possibly played with some of the bonus cast.
Yeah.
Let's be careful of that word raffle.
Randomly selected among the qualified entrants.
There we go. Raffle has some legal
Legally
implications.
distinct from a raffle.
Thank you, Stream Manager Tux.
Just
Okay.
want to throw that out.
Okay,
It's
let
not
me create a
raffle.
new word. Vizbang. We'll hold a Vizbang, and the winners of which will be able to play in campaigns, modules, what have you, run by me or by other members of the bonus cast with other members of the bonus cast. Possibly. I don't know. I'm not making any promises. I need someone to actually join the Patreon first.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am going to be creating the Bonus Roll public server on Discord where our fans can join us and talk to us and
So-
stuff.
We have a question. Oh, he's part of the extended bonus cast. Never mind. EQ was like, wait, can I participate?
EQ is a part of the bonus cast. He is officially
He
a
is a
member
part
of
of
the
the
bonus
bonus
cast.
cast,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
No, you're disqualified. Sorry.
I need to run
Or-
another mini adventure so we can get EQ back on.
All right. So, our next expected stream for role playing is going to be Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, hopefully, for about 3 hours. We'll be playing Shadowrun. There may be periodic streams throughout the week of us playing Minecraft, World of Warcraft, Among Us, what have you. while I am happy to stream our gaming stuff, the bonus roll is not a video gaming channel, and so it is not going to be our primary focus. I would like to thank the Tux and everyone who stepped in to keep the channel active with video games during Ziziva and I's collapse into an oblivion, and then the reformation of the universe with us in a different location.
Yeah, that pretty much describes Texas.
Yeah. It's really bright out, and it's like, it quote unquote rained, but it was really more just there's droplets of water in the sky, and now they're on the ground, and now it's sunny and bright again.
Yes. This is Texas.
Enjoy the sunlight while it's there.
No. Because going out into this sunlight is like, walking into an oven.
Also, if anyone noticed any new character changes, we adapted a couple things from Tasha's on our characters and did a small rebuild.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I got one
Congratulations.
spell.
Rangers are now effective.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
get Tasha's stuff.
You do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm enjoying Tasha's a lot.
Yeah, no, it is great. I'm stealing some parts of it for some things, like the chef feat has given me some ideas for how to redo the feast domain.
Mm-hmm.
And
So I took the invocation with the book, so the scribe one. So that's one difference. That was today. Got one of the new spells, and then I did a general change to be able to be more tanky since we lost a meleeer and got a ranged combatant. So help with our general party build.
I hope at some point the mage will return or join us once more, or that we may pick up other people, but this late in the campaign, I feel like we have kind of set a good pace. And plus, oh, by the way, y'all are level 13.
Yeah.
Whoa,
There's
yeah.
only
hell
like
yeah.
7 levels left to go.
Oh, dang.
We did not resolve the angel thing, though.
My statement was, once y'all deal with the angel wanting to kill Faradir.
So now the angel wants to kill Rail instead.
Thanks, Rail.
Wait, do we
You're
get a
good
level
friend.
once it's
Oh,
once we
dear.
deal with it wanting to kill Rail? Do we get another level?
I make no promises, so
we
I tell no lies.
Play if we play hot potato, will we gain infinite levels?
Here, let me put it like this. When I was working at Walmart...
Can we go past level 20?
No. When I was working at Walmart, every 6 months I would transfer to another department, because whenever you transfer departments, Walmart increased your pay by $1.
Yes.
Oh,
They do
yeah.
it
That's
for the
yeah.
idea of better, because to promote to managerial, they really want you to know something about most of the departments.
Yes, but they don't want to
So-
promote you to a manager if you're a threat to the current management's position. Because if you're more competent than your boss, then your boss doesn't want you to replace them.
I mean, I probably didn't have any chance because I had a degree. They just
Okay,
didn't
I
know
can
that.
So, not to...
level 10 cleric.
I have 7th level spells.
Literal divine intervention.
Oh, that's going to be fun. I assume you are okay with you communing through Hermes. I know you were curious about how your interaction
Yeah.
with the divinity spells would work.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing about Ravnica is that there's technically no divinity, so it gets a little...
Who said there's no divinity?
Yeah.
The creators.
Rail
Yeah,
is a
they're a
literal
Nephilim.
cleric of knowledge, like the concept.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's okay, guys. I just got plane shift.
Yep.
I am now Planeswalker. Hell yeah.
I am too, technically.
Well then.
Yo. Alright, guys, we're going to Theros.
I get it next level. Hey, wait for me. That way we can get back.
It's
You
like-
and up to 8 willing creatures So all of us can go. We can take devotion with us.
Yeah, next week, entree into Eberron.
Yo, let's go to Kamigawa.
I've actually got the tuning fork to get back, but you still need tuning forks to get to places. So you'll have to work on making those.
Yeah. Just ask devotion. Huh. Where can
You
we
really
go?
are going to set up flirting with devotion, aren't you?
Oh my, Equilibrium's
Yeah.
comment.
What did he say?
Devotion has to have a second form. He has to.
I mean,
Well,
I've
we
already
thought-
posted zero idea if that's his real form or not. So we've been kind
We-
of chatting on it
We
on the
already saw
sidelines.
second form, didn't we?
Oh,
we interrupted his
costume, maybe? We don't know.
That was the second
It,
form.
it, it had some realistic aspects of it.
In that the wings moved and were attached to his body.
I mean, it's probably not his final form, but we at least saw the second form.
Yo, we need to find Jace though. I bet Jace
What are we
would
gonna do
know
with
how to make those.
Jace? Do we really need to
Jace
piss
is a
off
planeswalker.
Jace?
Oh, but if you've got the planar thing, you should bring it up to Ingrid sometime because
Okay, hard
Valora
rule,
stocked the library with planar books
Frizz cannot attempt to seduce
when Ingrid said
Jace.
she was interested.
All in favor.
I'm not gonna seduce Jace. Fuck Jace.
Jace is
I
a bit
hate
of a
that guy.
punt.
Frizz can attempt to seduce anyone he wants. He doesn't have a partner right now.
Fair enough. If I was to attempt to seduce any of the planeswalkers on Ravnica right now, it would probably be Kaya.
Is that the one like actually well balanced one?
No.
Okay.
Wait,
No,
mentally
that's
or
the Ghost Assassin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
not the Assassin Ghost, the Ghost Assassin.
Oh, that's right. It's been almost a
Because
week.
there's a difference.
So she's a ghost
Yeah.
duster?
Since the Ghost Council?
Yes.
Yeah.
But also she can like purple psychic daggers. She's basically the rogue, that new rogue subclass from Tasha.
Yeah, she's a she's a Psy rogue. Psylocke. She's Psylocke.
She's a Psy rogue.
She is
Psylocke, that's what
Psylocke.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Can-
Psylocke. She's
And,
Psylocke.
and player might have been trying to give Frizz an opportunity if he wants to with devotion by saying she doesn't support rail flirting. Ingrid was just like, stop rail from flirting. That's like end goal, full stop.
So you're getting jealous is what you're saying.
I think Fairdeer would be in trouble if he mentioned that in character as a thing. I think Fairdeer would be hurting, actually.
I've missed this.
Let's see. There are like 6 planeswalkers right now on Ravnica.
By my count, at least possibly 7 if you count someone that you probably shouldn't count.
The big evil boy?
Yeah.
Or yeah, he definitely counts, but definitely do not want to mess with him. Wait. So if I have the spell, does that mean I have a spark?
When I asked that question, he said, no, it's different.
Okay.
Planeswalkers
Thank
can use plane shift at will without requiring material components.
Okay, good. Ugh. If I had a
You're
spark, that'd be
Time
really
Lord, but You're
bad.
not a planeswalker. Come on.
No.
Hey, this is perfect. You getting that level right before going to the Magic College, because then you can ask people about. You're actually going to meet the person who made my planar fork for Ravnica tomorrow.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
if
actually
we're
really
going to
good.
the
Yeah.
Magic College, that could be the explanation of why I'm a Horizon Walker all of a sudden. Hooray!
You're a Horizon
Yeah.
Walker? I thought you were a Fey Wanderer.
Because Kalin, Rithan's brother, is the main one that did the crafting on the tuning fork. So that So when she's giving him the other half of the consort gift and thanking him for the fork, that would be a good time for you to like pick up. Oh, hey, there's a planar fork in play.
No, you're
Fair.
a planeswalker or a Horizon Walker, Tux. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, I know.
Though I think the Fey Wanderer is not that bad of a ranger.
No.
I have no
I
idea
think
what that is.
So between
Katasha's new ranger. So
you have
Oh.
one person who can plane shift, another person who will be able to plane shift soon, a person who can detect planar portals, and a knowledge cleric capable of researching esoteric information.
yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yep.
Why do I even
I
bother
wanna go to
writing a
Ixalan.
plot?
Hey, yeah, it's fun. Can we bring slivers to Ravnica?
What makes you think they're not already there?
Can we not
God,
introduce
yeah.
non-indigenous species to Ravnica? As
No
a
one-
ranger, I really find that to be bad.
No one knows where slivers originally came from.
Can we go
No.
visit the unicorn and say hi on its own terms?
I mean,
Yeah,
have
you just have to go
comprehend
to the
language,
third
right?
district.
I've heard a theory that slivers are Eldrazi, which makes a lot of
That's
sense.
disturbing.
Which version? The humanoid
Yeah.
slivers or the regular slivers?
They're both the same entity. Evolved into the humanoid ones after they got, quote unquote, wiped away, but then they were brought back.
But hey, wait. You have plane shift. I have the key to get it back. And we know where the portal is to see the undead dragon.
Ooh.
We probably shouldn't go
Ooh.
visit him, but
No.
hey, it's a level sooner. We could theoretically get back if we go see him.
Yeah.
The king of gold.
Oh yeah, that was another one.
Squeego.
We gotta prepare for a fight. Yo, what's up?
Well, I mean, Ingrid's been keeping an eye on that location and riding past it some and having picnic lunches and dinners there. She's not been going back inside and investigating, but she's been keeping an eye on it.
In fairness, I never told you to not wanted to kill y'all.
Exactly.
You ever told us who
Yeah.
wanted to kill us all?
The undead dragon that we were just like we negotiated.
He was
with
like,
and
rats come
everything
back
came
and
out.
play,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he didn't necessarily say he'd kill us.
Yeah.
True.
It was
But he
just
didn't say he.
Why limit
But-
his options?
the point is that we have negotiated rather than fight before.
And hey, Rail can commune and ask him. I'm mostly playing.
Sending spell works
Sure.
cross-planar.
It does. I find that disturbing, but it does.
We
I'm
should
gonna put us
probably
on
not
the-
stir up a
Sure.
lot of trouble near Farkeep, though. Just, I mean, she wants to see him again at some point, but, maybe with a reason or an invite or something. Maybe not just dropping in.
Okay. I'm putting the stream end of the card up now.
Can't hear you.
Hold on, put the end stream up, but don't stop it. I'm going to run a couple commercials. Hey, everyone who's joined us today, thank you so much. We've had a lot of fun. We're hopefully going to be back to our regular streaming schedule soon. Baba Booey. Salvation Army is a horrible organization. Do not donate to them. They discriminate against LGBT people. All right,
Yeah.
running commercials.